live. We are live. We are live. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Brofessionals show. I am hosting this week. I am RT Bear, and welcome to Shack Studios. This is where the magic happens, baby. This is where all the blood, sweat, and tears come from, and all my IPs like Black and White, Chrono Mechanics. We got a great show for you guys tonight. It is going to rock your socks off. I think we already got a full house, man. I see a bunch of names in the chat, so that's always a good thing. Before I introduce, let's see who's in the chat here. We got JDC, we got Matt, the great Matt Cisco. Yo, what's up? McGregorable. I always said that right, and we got to add a J to that. So hail right back at you. I think I already said this, but it bears repeating. We got the grifter in the house. Hello, let's go. Yeah, hey ho, let's go. Citizen Ronan, hail everyone. Yes. Michael Bancroft says we're on the street. This is the place to be tonight? Yep, that is the word on the street for sure. We got Robert the Bruce. Hail bros. Hail Robert. We got the Nordic Nerd. Hail. We got Fox Mulder. Yo mama. Hey, who's this guy? I don't know who this guy is. He's trying to schmooze the chat. We got Joe Bernardo. Hey Joe, thanks for the artwork for the thumbnail. You always come through. It looks awesome. MD Houghton. What's up? Past Masters got the advice. Hit that thumb and don't hit back. Never hit back unless you're hit first. We got Nate D. Hail Art. Let's see. Oh, Matt Cisco says, got my shipping notification. Art can't wait to read it. Yes, Black and White Volume 2, Man vs. Machine. Hundreds of books went out today. This morning we shipped those bad boys out, so you might get them. Get your book in the next couple days. What is this? Madome. I can't say that. But hello all. We got Eric and Boyd. We got David Springer in the house. We got Lone Star Viper. Man, we got quite the full house. Paulus Arts. Let's see what else. We got Fraga Boom. I think we're pretty much caught up. Let's see what this is. Kona Blend 36. Hello, fellow humans. What's up? We got Luke, Death Metal Hero. Metal. Oh, we got Dirty. Well, I read it out. Old Dirty Fatty, not Old Dirty Fatty or Dirty Old Fatty. I got that reversed. Repairman Jack. We got Vaughn Coleman. Yo. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, that's enough of that. That was fun. But we got more than that. That was a lot of fun, right? But we got way more than that for you guys. All right, man. So the first guy we got to be introduced. This guy's got a new project coming up, and he'll probably end up talking about it. Yeah. Here he is, Mr. Andrew Smith.
Well, hello there, Mr.
Hello there, Mr. Cordrath. Hello,
Mr. Cordrath. Making your dreams come true.
True. So this is Volume 2, Electric Boogaloo for Cordrath.
Cordrath: The Awakening, coming this Sunday at noon Eastern Time.
So you guys wake up early for that one. Yeah. So is this him awakening to like his powers, his abilities?
You'll have to read it
for
and find
blood.
out, I guess.
His thirst for blood. That man's violent.
He is violent. Yes, it's a violent time. Yeah,
very
kill or be killed.
This made-up time that I just came up with. It's aggressive. It's very, very violent. Yeah, it's horrible.
Oh yeah,
you wouldn't want to live back then.
No, I wouldn't. There's no air conditioning. Hell no.
Oh shit! I had to crank it today. We had a little humidity here in Texas. All right. Well, usually this guy kind of shows up late, but he was here early.
What are you talking about? You're already here.
That's true. I already got a compliment from Graham, so that's all I live for. This man, he brought his dinger. He is dinger to the show, Mr. Billy Tucci, the Tucci Meister himself.
Wait,
There it is.
that was lame. That was a limp dinger.
Limp ding.
Man.
Limp ding.
That was a hard one right there. That was a hard ding.
What?
That was a hard ding.
What?
Somebody's going to use that tonight on their wife. That was a hard ding.
That was a hard ding.
That was a hard ding.
Now I'm going to try that. Fuck it. Yeah. Wait,
that
was...
You created the hard ding. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
How'd you like to learn 8 inches the hard way?
Yeah, this man likes pineapple no matter how it's sliced. He even named his
pineapple on pizza though.
It's savory and sweet. It's savory and sweet. It's good.
It's what those kids are doing these days.
It's the kids.
Yeah, and you know what else? I think the whole pizza with the pineapple's got a bad rap because it's Canadian bacon. The Canadians get no credit in that pizza.
That's why I agree with Theodore Roosevelt, who said we should declare war on England and invade Canada. After you said that, I think we should invade Canada right now.
Well, for what? To liberate their Canadian bacon so they get some credit
for
that
bacon
pizza?
And stop having their bacon poisoned by that pineapples on the pizza.
Oh, you're a hater.
I'm a hater.
Oh my gosh. Well, we got to get a lover in here, Mr. Dan Fraga.
There he is. Look at him.
He's a lover, not a fighter.
Look at that. I got the glove, homie.
Gloved hands, bro. Shimano.
Dude, you're looking very Jedi right now for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm not feeling very Jedi, but I thank you. Is it the hood? Is it the fleshy colored Fresh Produce Records? Sure. Oh, brand new, man. I picked it up the other day. Brent,
did you just pick it?
I have the best shirts. Look at this, and it's got a little thing with Sweet Diesel, which is a local band that's
where'd you get that shirt, homie? Good.
Macon's a hot place for music, man. Gotta love Macon. How are you guys? I missed you. It's been too long, and I was supposed to see Mr. Smith at the show, and of course I got visited by Mr. Kidney Stone.
Is it done? Because you seem fine now. Either that or you're still doped up on medicine.
The only part about it is the drugs. That's it.
Now, you know what the most amazing thing is? Dan's the youngest out of all of us, but he's got the most health problems.
I've got a lot of problems. I think it's genetic. Like this is really fucking crazy. So my mom's side, my grandma died at 48.
Oh my God.
My grandpa died at 56. My mom died at 63. So, I'm doing all right.
Yeah. Well, my family's got a history the same. So I'm almost.
Well, Dan, with the age gap between you and some of these older fellows, you'll probably still outlive them. So
yeah.
No, wait, but Art, you're the oldest, quote unquote, right? And you were born in 60?
61.
61. So
you're older than the Beatles.
Yeah. Well, not really. Yeah. But you're younger than Brian Murray. Because Brian Murray just had his birthday on April 5th, but he was born in 60, so he's actually older. So you're my young friend, Art. I'm gonna have to get rub it in on Brian.
You're only as old as you feel. And speaking of old men who doesn't get any crap for being an old man, Mr. Graham Nolan, what's up?
I'm gonna bury all of you.
Oh, damn.
But not tonight.
Well, I'm gonna tell my wife that. So if something happens, you need to get down here and start digging.
Well, he didn't say he was going to kill you. He just said he's going to bury you.
It means outlive.
That's what I'm saying. If something happens, he needs.
I want to be into a vinyl record.
Melted down. I don't think that's how it works. I don't think that's how it works.
No, you can be pressed.
You can. They take your ashes and they put it in and they press them in, and you can leave your loved ones with a recording, and it's your ashes in a vinyl.
That's good. And you'll play dance backwards, and he'll scream at you.
Yeah,
and I think that'd be so cool. Graham's fault.
Didn't they put?
Well, that'd be cool, man. I wish I had my mom as a record. You know what I'm saying? I just
I wish I had my mom as a record.
You know what's,
that's a quote for the night.
What's crazy though, and I'm sorry because I know we got to bring Aaron in. My mom and dad were in Australia in 71, and the way they communicated with my grandparents is with cassette tapes. Well, those cassette tapes, I managed to get them and have them digitized to MP3 format. And it's just crazy hearing my mom's voice before I was born and hearing my dad's voice. It's really crazy.
Hey, I got to get together with you and figure out how to do that, because I have old recordings of bands that I played with on tape. It's all on tape,
dude.
Yeah.
You check it out. It's simple. You go on Amazon and you buy a cassette to MP3 conversion player. You pop the cassette in, you press play, and it records it to the.
So it
SD
has a
card.
Player built into it, because I don't have
one in my closet. Yeah,
cool.
they're on Amazon. They're like $20. Yeah.
And if you have VHS tapes, you buy if you have a VCR and VHS tapes, I did it with a ton of mine. It's like I said, $20. It's just a few of the cables, and you hook them up to your computer to the VHS player, and you could record all your. If you have
I had something like that, but it was the camera, so I had to use my original camera as the player, and then it would burn it into a disc.
That would still work. It's the same thing with that too. So if you have them on smaller tapes, the discs, the smaller ones, like Super 8, whatever the hell they called it, you could use those.
Super 8. That's our parents' stuff.
No, but I think those tapes were called Super 8 too.
They were just called
Sony, like the Sony camcorders.
They were called mini.
Yeah, Super 8, right?
I think they
called
called
mini. Wasn't it called Mini DV?
No, there was an 8
Aaron,
on there.
Hey, is Aaron asleep in the back room yet?
I know.
No. We had to give Aaron time to eat his dinner. It looked really, really good, and I'm sure he'll explain it.
Hey, my wife made carnitas, so I'm not complaining.
This is we're introducing Mr. Steak Lopresti here, so
I'm a little bit embarrassed that actually Art got here before I did today, but
should be.
I was cooking these steaks and they're pretty thick, and they took a little bit longer than I thought they were going to. So,
it's the time zone. It's the time. The time.
I get very confused.
Hey, it reminded me. Did you guys see my Facebook post? And I went directly to the source about the frog Thor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. And
6 feet tall.
Yep, 6 feet.
6'6".
6'6".
Yeah.
Walter confirmed it.
So, but Billy, the frog has always got his legs like a frog. He's always squatting. Is he 6'6" like that, or is he? If he stands up, is he like 10 foot tall?
I don't know. That's what Mr. S told me. So you'll have to bring it up to him at the Garden State Comic Fest.
I think so.
Hell
I
yeah!
think all you guys go there like, hey, like the who doesn't wear a ribbon? You're just like, hey, how big is he? And if is his legs bowed? When
is that when he's crouched or standing? What?
Yeah, and what's his weight? What does he weigh?
Yeah, but he's
probably knows.
And how big is his waistline? He looks fat.
How's he?
You know what's the weird thing about frogs? I've never been around frogs until we moved here. Okay, so there's frogs everywhere. Those things have no bones. Like, you can step on them, and they'll still be alive. Like, you can't kill them. You can't crush them. Like, have you noticed that?
Run one over with your car and let me know how that goes.
Yeah,
well, I mean, to a certain extent, but I mean, they can squeeze through their bones must compress. So not only do they have those big long legs and they can hop for miles, but you can't really squash them either. Yeah, it's crazy.
I saw a rabbit go through a chain link fence opening. How the chain link fence.
Oh yeah.
It was in our backyard, and my basset hound saw it and took off. And you ever hear a rabbit scream? It is the creepiest noise.
Yeah.
It was like, and it ran. It didn't stop, and it just jumped right through and squeezed right through that thing. It was amazing how he wanted to get away from that hound.
Wow.
I've seen a rabbit jump like a 7-foot fence, like a dog. It jumped into it was a pet, and so my friend's pet got out. A dog came after him. The thing leaped, so we were looking all over for his rabbit, and we couldn't find it. And then I saw these like mud prints on this wall. It was 7-foot cinder block, right? And there's like these paw prints. I'm like, oh shit. So I climbed the fence, and on the other side, the dog got him, man.
Snap.
Oh, geez.
Oh.
I had a friend who was a brontosaurus, and he accidentally sat on a pterodactyl, and it was fine because they had hollow bones too.
We used to take, when we were in Florida, we used to take these big, like, those cast iron like Dutch oven things.
I know.
And we put a bunch of vegetables in there, and the rabbit would crawl in, and then we'd catch it like that right to the stove, baby. Mm.
I believe it. Fatal Attraction.
Yeah, that was the same day that Billy sat on that pterodactyl. So
this is like when Mike Barron's on, when we're on the Kings and Barron. Like I was telling, like I was promoting my thing yesterday. He's like, "Hey, Ethan, can you share my screen real quick?" I'm like, he doesn't listen to anybody. He's like, hear him banging. He's like, "Look."
I know. Every time he got up, he took his headphones off. He was making noise with paper or something. It sounded like.
Oh yeah.
One of us have to tell him about this feature.
We love Mike Barron.
So when he gets up, he can just click that,
Right.
Yeah, but then you got to make sure he clicks his mic, because if he only turns the camera off, you might not think he's muted.
I was like, thanks, Mike. I was like, I was in the middle of my pitch, but okay.
Well, you have a habit of getting all your setups for your jokes stepped on. Like people will come in just as you're setting it up, and I find it hysterical because it happens so many times. I find myself laughing not at the joke, but the fact that somebody stepped on you.
You got to get to the point, Billy. Get to the point, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
Just deliver the line.
I thought that Brontosaurus one was going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Hey, try it again.
Yeah, we know you too
Try it
well.
again.
All right,
No,
we're all
I
going to be
thought
quiet,
it.
Billy. We're all going to be quiet. You do the joke.
All right. I got a great joke, though. Here's a joke. It's going to happen hopefully this Friday. And I was telling Matthew and Debbie, and they were dying hysterical, is that there's a chance that me and Graham Nolan might be seeing each other. So Graham's going to be down in Florida. I'll be in the same town as him, and we're going to coordinate to see what he's with a bunch of his buddies. And then I'm going to go up to him like a fan, like, "Excuse me, are you Graham Nolan? And like, you created Bane, right? Could you sign my napkin, please?" And then Graham's going to yell at me for bothering
I'm
him.
going to get all Don Rickles on him like he did with Sinatra. I said, "Hey, come on, man! I'm eating here. What is this?"
Hey, this has nothing to do with pterodactyl.
No. But then Graham, you got it. Well, it's a joke. No one liked my last joke. So Graham, you got to be like, happens every friggin' time. I can't even have a fucking meal without one of these geeks coming up to me.
I can't have a meal without you fucking fanboys coming all over.
And then Matthew's like, "You should start your okay, Graham. No, all right." Like he's doing a Bane voice, real bad.
Oh, that.
You should do that right in the middle of the
Heartless
funeral.
wench.
That'd be hilarious.
What? What'd he say?
What was that, Steak?
I said you should do that right in the middle of the funeral. It'd be hilarious.
No.
Wow, way to bring the stream down
It's
there.
a vow.
Wow.
It's a
Wait a
vow.
minute.
No, Graham's flying down there for a funeral, and you make fun of it. Real nice.
No,
Steve.
I was making fun of Billy. I actually, you know what? Now that I said that, I feel bad, Graham. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
Well,
That's it.
tell
I'm going to
me about
embarrass
the
Aaron
steak.
right here, right
Make
now.
up to me.
Look what I found over the weekend. Does this ring any bells, Lopresti?
Yeah,
Blood
Is this your
related.
work, Lopresti?
it might be.
It
Hey,
might
this is
be.
some good stuff.
It's possible.
Yes. Aaron did
Prime
a
looking
flood
tough,
relief
man.
book with some other people. There
I
you
think
go.
all of us worked on that Prime character at some point, right?
No.
Hey, this was for flood relief.
That
Oh, wow.
character got around, but nobody even liked that character.
Well, wasn't he
Oh,
like?
there you go.
He's like stronger than Superman and faster. Like everything Superman is, he's better, right?
Well, he was
Probably.
That makes no sense.
Like let's
No,
not.
he was just a kid that basically could turn into this big dude, right?
He was
Shazam.
Shazam,
He's
really.
Captain
Or
Marvel. Yeah.
Captain
Yeah, he was
Marvel, yeah.
Captain Marvel.
Courtesy of Gerard Jones.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it's
now
like-
Marvel owns the character, right? So Marvel
Yeah.
bought all those Ultra Force characters
Yeah.
or
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah.
All the
They bought him
Malibu
to
stuff.
kill them, though, right?
Wasn't that
Like,
Norm
they-
Brayfogle who designed him?
I think so.
He did
Yeah.
the cover.
Yeah.
I think he created that look.
He left.
Norman-
He left Batman, and they paid him, I think, a $10,000 bonus to go to Malibu. And
Wow.
I don't know that he didn't regret that afterwards.
I was going to say, should have stayed on Batman.
Yeah.
Wow. That's why they put so much time and effort into that character then, because he spent some money getting Norm.
hmm
Was he doing Shadow of the Bat at that time? Is that when he left, or did he?
No, he was on. Was he on Detective or Batman? He was on one of those.
I thought it was
He was on-
Detective.
He was on both.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't recall.
Not at the same time, but and then
Right.
after Nightfall, he and Alan got their own #1 book, which was Shadow of the Bat.
Oh,
That was the Prestige format book, right? The Shadow of the Bat. It was better paper and everything. No,
No, it wasn't Prestige. Prestige is Perfect Bound.
no. Like DC had like a upgrade type of style.
Yeah, the
book, I thought.
Baxter.
Yeah,
it
was
had
like
the better
Baxter.
paper, but it was still
Staples.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember
Yeah.
the quality being that much better.
I don't think so. I think it was whatever the latest paper upgrade they were using for all the books.
Because wasn't Man of Steel like that? Like Burns' book, wasn't that like a
No,
harder
but
no.
the Legend. The first time I remember a nicer an in between was Legend of the Dark Knight, the one that had all the different color. It was like variants, but it was like a green one, a blue one, an orange one.
Yeah.
That had the nice cover stock and the nice paper. It was certainly better than the newsprint, and I think it was I think Titans did it too. That Baxter.
Yeah, because they had the direct market. They had a direct market version, and then they had a newsstand version. So the direct market was always like more upscale, like the Baxter paper, and then the direct market was like the crappy old newsprint.
Which has its charm.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, I kind of miss it.
Oh, Aaron put his hat on. Somebody asked about it. Yeah.
That's a hat?
No, the glare is, and so I thought, well, and it's too hot to wear this, so I'm putting it up here like a.
What the hell? You were freezing last night the way you were bundled up. Now you're
I go up and down. I've been cooking steaks, man. I'm just,
He's got the meat sweats.
I got the meat
sweats.
Yeah,
Aaron's head's got to breathe.
He just ate a pound of ribeye. He's got the meat sweats.
That was a huge.
This kind of looks like one of those French berets, right?
Yeah,
From World War II.
It does.
Yeah. Weren't the French always the sniper in those movies? Like they were.
It looks like
explosives expert.
Explosives or something. Yeah.
How about in Looney Tunes when someone hits their head and then they have to put the bag of ice on it?
That's right.
Yeah.
Or it goes
stars going around.
Yeah. Or birds. We
can't.
I like the welts that would come up and have the little hair nubs on it.
Yes.
Gross.
And it would throb.
Yeah.
The one I never got was like the anime or a manga where they would have like the pulsating like vein in the head. You guys know what I'm talking about?
I guess the idea is stress, but
It's just a weird visual. I'm always like
restrained intense emotion, I think is what it's supposed to.
You know what? I think what twisted me is that movie Scanners. Whenever I see like a vein pop like that, I always think,
you're waiting for the head to. Yeah.
That guy's head's gonna blow up. All right.
The best surprise.
Yeah, right off the bat, Paul Taylor, super chat. Hail Bros and chat. Just got a package from Pamela T. Bear in the mail. Art Graham just finished Ghost. Great read. Looking forward to more. Also looking forward to backing Andy's next Chordrath book on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday is going to be the big launch for Chordrath, Electric Boogaloo, and that's Andy Smith's great IP there. All right, well let's get on with the show. Enough of this. Just hanging out. Let's get
enough of this hanging out crap.
Yeah, this meat. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this. So Andrew Smith, what do you have? Okay, so the topic is, it's like we've done stuff where it's like, this is our favorite movie, blah, 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 boring. What's our least favorite movie? Okay, let's see. What's our least favorite? So we're all going to have like three choices. We're going to go do a round robin and see what everybody's worst choices for movies. And also you can kind of get a gauge on what people's tastes are.
These are comic book movies, though.
Yeah, these are comic book based movies. Yeah. How do you guys feel about like stuff like pulp stuff, like Shadow or Green Hornet or Lone Ranger?
I think those are still comics.
Okay.
What about stuff that wasn't a comic but was a cartoon of a superhero that became a movie?
Such as?
Well, one of my picks.
Wait! Don't say it yet, then, Dan.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to share my screen.
Don't listen to Graham.
We make our own rules on this show.
He'll lead you down the bad path. Okay.
Primrose path is what you mean to say.
Oh shit!
Don't share it yet.
Oh,
Don't share.
shit.
Yeah.
You got to introduce this. Yeah.
This was hurtful because I love the star of the movie. That's all I'm going to say. Because yeah. So now you can share it.
Okay.
Love the
But
star of the
she
movie.
just wasn't right. She just wasn't right for the role.
She just wasn't right. Elektra just it. You know, it's actually almost a toss up between that and Daredevil. But yeah, Elektra. It was just not a good movie. But Jennifer Garner's great, so I was like, well, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, even though she wasn't Daredevil. Just not the right casting at all. I mean, this honestly looks like a pretty girl wanting to do cosplay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Don't
and
you think
I
she
thought
got
was
this
Greek.
because of Affleck's, being they were dating or together or whatever they were,
That's
he
right.
just did Daredevil. Isn't this why she got this? Probably.
She's in Daredevil,
Probably.
isn't
Yeah, that's true. She was.
Yeah, she was in Daredevil, but I mean, probably. But I didn't think Daredevil did good enough for them to go, oh yeah, definitely, let's do this.
Yeah, but think about it. It was pretty much, this was pre, Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't think they knew what, the expectation should be on these films. And it did well enough, it made money. I thought the Daredevil movie had some promise. I just think that it couldn't find the tone. Like the tone was all like at moments they had it, and then at moments they fell out of it. And yeah, it didn't know if it wanted to be a drama or just some kind of goofy, action adventure film.
And this thing just was, I think she was still on Alias at the time, or maybe that just ended. I don't remember, but yeah, it really just didn't work. I don't think so.
Well, the trailer was so bad, I didn't even want to see this film. Weren't there like shape changers or like wolves or some kind of, what were the villains?
I'm guessing there might have been just by looking at this poster and the guy on the right-hand side. I don't remember. I just remember basically when you brought the topic up, a few movies popped into my head, and this was one of them. And I was just like, oh, because like I said, I like the actress. I like Jennifer Garner, but just,
You know what would be cool right now is if she was still in her prime and like got sucked into one of these newer Marvel movies. I mean, before they went off the deep end, but before that, like she could play like a Jean Grey, or like I think she kind of seems like a Jean Grey to me, in the X-Men.
you could have played that possibly, yeah.
Yeah,
I've always liked Jennifer Garner. I think she's great looking and she's got this charming personality. But yeah, I didn't even go see this. I looked at it and said, "This looks so stupid. I'm not going to waste my money."
I still haven't seen this movie.
I'm not going to see it. It's weird because I was such a Frank Miller fan, and the way he drew Elektra. She was this Greek goddess, and her hair was all curly and badass, jet black. Yeah, and I thought like she's kind of like savage like.
They could have like Monica Bellucci play her or something,
right?
And then they have her. And again, I like Jennifer Garner too, but she's not a Greek assassin. She's just not.
No,
and it's weird because they actually kept that in the movie, so it's so glaring in that Daredevil movie. Because don't they show like this Greek mafia and her family and all that stuff, and you're just like, wait a minute, this doesn't quite fit here.
You've got the whitest of the white chicks playing Elektra, and it's just like,
yeah, it just doesn't work. All right, well that's a great start, man, because I forgot that film even existed. So I'm sure we're going to be digging up a bunch of relics from the past. Yeah, what do you got for us, teen sensation?
Give me 1 second. I'm going to move it over so I can get it right. All right. Here we go.
I wanted to do the best because I love Billy talking about Rocketeer. That's one of his favorite films.
It's such a great movie.
It's a great movie.
It really is.
I was talking to my wife at dinner, and we were talking. I was like, "What are your least favorite?" And she goes, "I don't." At first everybody's like, "I don't know," but she goes, "I really loved Rocketeer." And then she listed a bunch of like crappy movies after that. So I thought it's almost like she had them chambered. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's such a one-for-one translation. The casting.
They look like the characters in the
That's
comic.
what I'm saying. It's literally the comic made into a movie. It's probably the best. Yeah. Sorry, Billy. Go on.
I agree.
And Alan Arkin. Anytime you have Alan Arkin in a film, it's going to be great. So when are you ready? Are you ready, Billy?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go.
So I took the sound off, and we could talk about this movie.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. What actually interesting is The Rocketeer. And I want to talk about how much I hate this movie and why it is one of the worst comic films of all time. And
What movie? What?
I think worst comic book adaptations of all time, and maybe we should be honest for a change.
Billy, I can't hear a word you're saying over Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah, the bullshit's getting deep. It's getting deep. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I just wanted to watch Jennifer Connelly in The Rocketeer.
Thank you, Dave.
I was going to say, there's no way this is real. Rocketeer's great.
Oh,
This
that's
is
real,
so-
buddy.
Perfectly cast. That movie's
still-
perfectly cast.
It
I
is.
still hear da-na-na-na-na-na. Like I can hear it.
Oh yeah, but I don't want Art to get.
No. I'm saying it's muted, but I can hear it.
But watch this walk. Look at this. Oh,
Do,
God.
do,
Oh.
do, do.
Well, go ahead
Billy
for me,
Campbell.
Bill. But just a total smoke show. Adorable. Here she's crying. Look, she's crying. Look.
Oh.
Oh,
Even Neville
she's
Sinclair
crying.
falls in love with her right there.
Have you ever seen anybody so pretty when they're crying?
I know. My wife looks like a horror show when she cries.
God,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Jennifer Connelly
Like
looks
the
like
bag
she's
over
about
her head.
15 here. How old is she?
She's 20. She's 20 years old here. She's
Yeah,
20.
Oh
20.
my gosh.
Can't even drink on set.
Yeah, and this is, if you guys are fans of The Office, this scene is what's her name from The Office? Michael's girlfriend, the singer. What's her name? The one everyone hated. She was Michael's girlfriend / boss.
Oh my gosh, she was. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's her. Jan?
Yeah.
Is it Jan or something?
Jan
or-
Hooks.
Yeah, no, not Jan.
Oh
Yeah.
no, isn't it Melara?
I don't know, but that's
I don't remember her
that's
name, but I recognize her. So
But
That-
anyway,
that-
I
That
thought-
woman, that woman in The Office was such a freaking car wreck.
Yeah,
Who's the actress? She looks
I forget
familiar.
her name. I think it's Jan. Let me see. Jan, The Office. While I
Jan
look that up,
Hooks.
you guys look at
I
Jennifer
think
Connelly.
Oh,
Melara
look
or
at-
something.
20-year-old.
Look at James Bond making the moves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
He's such a good bad guy.
He is.
Yeah.
So
Jan, her
slimy
name
in
is
this.
Jan. It's Jan Levinson is the character, formerly Jan Levinson Gould.
Trudy Monk, is that it?
No,
I don't know.
Melora
Just reading
Hardin.
that.
Melora
See?
Hardin.
I said
Oh.
Melora, man.
You did. That's her name.
That's the actress's name?
The actress's
Yeah.
name, but her character's name was Jan Levinson.
Yeah.
I know her from
There you
Yo
go.
Gabba Gabba.
Trudy Monk.
She was in Yo Gabba Gabba, the guy with the thing on his head.
The
Melora
kid show.
Hardin.
The kid show.
Jan was in the Yo Gabba Gabba?
Melora was, yeah.
Was
She
she?
did the
Okay, so we're not going to
dance.
get popped for this, right? Because there's no
With a good
sound.
sound.
Nah, show us,
Yes,
your,
yes.
show us the movie you hate now.
I don't know. I hate them all. So let's stop.
You
I hate 'em.
derailed it.
Yeah, I hate what you guys hate. You know, I don't know. The ones I haven't seen them, so they
I
suck.
haven't seen the ones
I know.
hate.
I've never seen Captain Marvel. I know that sucks.
Oh, wait. She also played Trudy Monk in the Monk.
She did.
Oh,
Right.
She did. Yes. You were
Yeah,
correct.
That was a great program. That was a good, well-written show.
Tony
Or,
Shalhoub.
you know, they did a new one, just
Shalhoub's
a
great.
movie, just a couple. It came out like a month or so ago.
Oh shit! I got to check that out. Yeah.
It's good. She's
Yeah,
in it.
USA had like Suits. They had Monk. They had Psych. They had a whole slew of shows, and then they just kind of petered out. Like, how do you have that many hits and then just
It
fall
happens,
off?
man.
I never watched that show. Monk.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Jennifer and Ben Affleck's daughter came out trans.
Yeah, I
thank
saw
you.
that.
Thank
trending.
you.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
It would be the most beautiful kid, on the face of the earth, and
Yeah.
my God.
Quality parenting right there. That's
Yeah,
what you get in Hollywood, baby.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
you know what they say, Steak? Shit in, shit out.
Yep.
All right. Well, we got Mr. Dan Fraga. What do you got for us?
Here, let me present. And I know this isn't a popular opinion just by the conversation we had before. coming online.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah,
All right.
well, it's controversial though, so
That's controversial, and let me plead my case before you guys jump in about how great it is.
Dan,
I'm gonna
Star
tell-
Trek 1 is not a comic book movie.
Wow, shots
actually, yeah. Dave Stevens, I had a conversation with him years and years ago, just about the time the movie came out. And he said he was kind of bragging. He goes, "Well, I made enough money off that movie to buy a house."
Yeah.
Which
in California.
Yeah, but houses weren't that expensive at that time, so I don't think he got paid that much. He might have been paid maybe, what do you think, Dan? $500,000? Maybe
Yeah, an option? No, I would say going rate back then was 250.
250.
You know, because I remember some of Rob's deals. And I'm not gonna even talk his deals, but I just remember the talk around those things and sort of scales of numbers depending on something called Q and
Yeah, but if it actually got made, he would have made more than just the
Yeah, that's what
right.
he's talking about.
Yeah. That's probably, you're probably right. Because
and the way he made it sound like it wasn't just an average house. Like it was a fairly nice house. So he was happy.
Disney's notoriously cheap, so
that movie didn't do that well, really.
Today.
That's true. It did not.
It's not like it grossed like 150 million or 200 million, you know.
No.
You know, it's a tragedy. It's kind of like Rocketeer is. It's kind of like the Iron Giant. Like Warner Brothers had Iron Giant, didn't know what to do with it, right? Disney has the Rocketeer, just doesn't know what to do with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
These were great films. These were sincerely great films.
John Carter, they screwed that up so bad.
Yeah, they did.
But wasn't the Rocketeer kind of in a summer of like other major movies that like it just shouldn't have come out at that time? Like if they had made it a Christmas movie or a Thanksgiving movie, like, you know, instead of trying to make it a summer blockbuster and compete with the other ones.
What year did that come out? 91,
91, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, well that's T2, that's Robin Hood. You know, those were juggernauts.
Yep.
Well, speaking of Disney, Disney had the opposite with this movie that you picked.
I think the Little
they
Mermaid
could not have put more
Oh
money.
boy.
Oh, wait a more
minute.
effort into selling this thing.
So let me sell you on why I hate this. I really thought after the Batman movie and their take on it, Dick Tracy could have been really cool, but Warren Beatty leaned so hard into the caricaturation of everybody that everybody looks silly to me, especially this next guy, Lips, whatever his name was,
Lips Manless.
as he kept eating the oysters and the prosthetic was just bad.
Is that Jonathan Winters?
No, that's Savino.
Paul Sorvino. Okay.
Yeah, and you had big guys. You had Dustin Hoffman. I think wasn't
that's Pacino.
Yeah, Al Pacino.
I mean Pacino, but Dustin Hoffman's in here somewhere, right?
Yeah, he's mumbles something or other.
You know, the thing that bugged me the most is that Warren Beatty's ego is so huge, he wouldn't put a prosthetic on. Like,
but remember, every shot of him was that soft lens.
Yeah, because he was older.
Yeah, because they try to make him look, but it looks so stupid.
Look at this. Look at this. It's not even for the movie, but it looks like it could be.
It's so funny.
Yeah, I was going to say that is bad.
It's so nightmarish.
This is like Hollywood Studios, right? This is the Disney part.
But it's still nightmarish. And there,
I thought Pacino was funny. In this.
We're all overacting. It just
Pacino.
Yeah, I know. I liked it like that.
You know what? I think you just have to have expectations. My expectations were it would have comic flair, but it would be an enjoyable movie. The fact that the comic flares were so glaring and in your face, it made me lose track of plot. I was like, what is that? Suspending disbelief? I couldn't do it. I was just laughing at it.
Very cartoonish.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that movie since it came out, so I think I liked it when it came out, but I don't know that I could say I still do. I'd like to watch it again. Is that on Disney Plus or anything?
Probably. We'll have to look.
Yeah.
We'll have to
I
look
wonder.
for
The
it.
thing is, like, I know that Warren Beatty's ego is huge because I can't remember the artist now, but it was John Moore, and I forget the artist's name that did the adaptation, the comic book adaptation of it. And my gosh, like everything was drawn in like this pseudo cartoon style, and then Warren Beatty stuff was like photorealistic. It ruined the comic book just the same way it ruined the movie for me.
Oh, wow.
Like it was good for everybody else except for that guy. I still stand by. I think Bruce Willis already had that kind of hawk nose. He already had that look, that profile, like Dick Tracy. I think he would have been a way better Dick Tracy.
Well, talking about Warren Beatty, share my screen because Warren Beatty to this day still owns the rights to Dick Tracy, and this is why. In 2009 and in 2023, Warren Beatty shows up on TV in the middle of the night on an obscure interview style show. He's dressed as his 1990 Dick Tracy character, and the appearances are just bizarre. That's because they have one sole purpose: to keep the Dick Tracy rights in Beatty's name. In this
Holy
episode, we
shit.
talk about the Dick Tracy movie and the crazy ploy to keep the rights out of pure spite.
Wow.
Yeah, look at
That's
this. I mean, he does
incredible.
that. He actually puts the costume on and goes on late night. So, probably takes ad space out on these late night channels just to keep the rights to Dick Tracy, just to screw, I guess, Disney.
Yeah, I don't know who that screws. Does it screw out the Chester Gould? Like, does the estate still own the rights to it?
Well, he owns the film rights. He owns the film rights.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it
it's
would
the
be
film rights.
rights.
Okay,
Yeah, it'd be the film rights. Yeah.
yeah.
Tribune Media would own it because that's how the syndicates were. So they would have been a split between Tribune and the Gould estate.
Let's go all the way back though to what we said, and somebody in the chat had mentioned the "You're So Vain" song, right? I bet you think the song. They say it's about him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's trying to screw anybody over. What I think he's trying to do, because when we go, hey, what's your favorite Batman? You have like a selection. Well, who's your favorite Superman? Like whoever played him. You have all these selections.
Right.
Same thing with a lot of heroes. He's locked down. There is only one Dick Tracy, and it's Warren Beatty.
Oh,
There was another one?
Yeah, in the 40s.
But I mean, up to this point, he's
Yeah, but nobody's going to remember that.
Yeah.
I
but
do.
that-
Well, yeah, but you're old.
oh, shit.
And Art was like the best boy or the key grip on those
Yeah,
Dick Tracy
yeah.
serials back in the
Yeah.
day. He knows them too.
I was the gopher. I go for that. Go for this.
What was the one Warren Beatty movie where he like died? Was it Heaven Can Wait or something like
Yeah,
that?
Bonnie
love
and
that
Clyde
movie.
movie.
Yeah,
Love that
that-
movie.
I liked that one. There's stuff he's in. I thought Bulworth was good because he looked like an ass, you know?
Yeah, that was it. Where he's the
Yeah.
politician.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Halle Berry was smoking in that.
She's smoking and everything.
Yeah,
yes,
she
she
is.
is, Darren Presti. Yes, she is.
You're gonna
Yeah,
get
but Disney
lung
could not
cancer.
have put any more money and promotion behind that Dick Tracy movie. It was a complete opposite of Rocketeer. Like Rocketeer, it didn't seem like they did much. But with that Dick Tracy movie, there was even an attraction, like a ride that they had designed
Oh,
for
wow.
Dick Tracy at the Disney parks. Yeah, they put so much money into that thing.
I think they felt like it was their Batman.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think they did. The art
Oh, yeah.
direction, like you said, Dan, it was kind of like Art Nouveau-ish. It was kind of like they were
Deco.
definitely taken from
It was
Deco.
too
That's
loud,
it, yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
that's the thing. If you obviously hindsight being 2020, you look back at thematically what happened with 90s, and it happened in music, it happened in film, and it happened in comics a little earlier with The Dark Knight. But remember, the end of the 90s or end of the 80s musically was bright, shiny, glam rock, big loud acts, big hair, all that stuff. But then in comes this sort of darker grunge thing, and the reason Batman was so alluring was the take was a dark take. It wasn't a campy take. It was this sort of, and going into the 90s, we were, whether it was music, fashion, or whatever, the bright colors turned into dingy grunge wear and stuff.
Well, that's where the Crow came in. Like when the Crow hit, it was
there you go.
perfect
There's
timing,
another
man.
one. Yeah,
Perfect timing.
Well,
Or like
I thought Batman, Tim Burton's Batman was cartoonish, but it was cartoonish in kind of a dark way.
Yeah.
Where Dick Tracy was just completely over the top cartoonish. And I was a little, because I could see what you're saying, Dan. If you went in there wanting something a little bit more gritty and seedy, which a Dick Tracy movie should have been, it wasn't that at all. It was completely
I wanted noir.
buffoonery. But once you accepted that, that's why I was okay with it. Because I was like, okay, this is how we're doing it. All right, I'll go with it. Because I didn't have anything really invested in Dick Tracy.
Imagine a colorized Citizen Kane, like stylistically.
Yeah,
that could be cool, or the Third Man, or any of those.
But it wasn't. It was clearly.
I
haven't read Chester Gould's strips. They're brutal.
Pretty edgy.
Yeah, they are.
The early Dick Tracy's, up through the 40s and stuff, were brutal. I mean,
it's a crime drama. It's a hard-boiled crime drama.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, I do remember. I forget how, but I got to walk the sets at Universal just after they had filmed. Dick Tracy. It was just saturated color. Like there were complete green buildings or red buildings or blue buildings. It was crazy. Like it was so surrealistic. Like it looked like literally somebody had just took a spray gun and just took these facades in the back lot and just painted them over in this saturated color.
Do you remember the Dick Tracy cartoon from the 60s, Art?
I remember liking it. I thought it was good.
They had those buckets, like they would fly in.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, they were in those.
They were like trash cans. They were like trash cans.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
and
yeah.
They had the
wrist TV. He'd be talking. I liked that as a kid.
I wanted to bring that up because I wasn't sure where I saw that, whether it was the cartoon or the comic strip. Did they ever bring those ideas into the strip?
I don't know if that came from the strip. I just remember seeing it for the first time in the cartoons. Because I wasn't reading the strip at that age.
The flying garbage can things, I think, were in the strip.
Yeah,
but
it might be.
Do you think that Dick Tracy, the movie, is an example of a bunch of people trying to do a comic book movie that don't really understand what a comic book is?
Yes.
And the guy who had the most autonomy was Warren Beatty.
Yeah.
He ran that
his
show.
Story, his direction, his character.
And the weird thing too is that there was not one profile shot in the entire film. Remember, like every Dick Tracy strip, it was a profile. Yep. Every panel is a profile.
There was part of the marketing. He was such an egomaniac. There was the marketing. It is his profile. Like he tried to rebrand the Dick Tracy profile with his profile. There was a complete silhouette. Remember, it just had the colorized hat.
He should have gave himself a jaw, right?
Or that prosthetic nose. That kind of straight.
Hawk. Yeah.
I mean, that's an identifiable thing with Dick Tracy that you got to have it.
Well, especially since everybody else was so over the top, like why not just complete it thematically and have the lead with the prosthetic nose or jaw or whatever? Yeah, just bring it out and bring the nose out.
What's great about our discussion is that you guys are slowly coming to my side on this one.
I never said it was good. I said I didn't mind it. That's what everybody said. They didn't mind it.
It's a love hate. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, so let's go with Graham. I'm sure it's not going to be a contemporary film.
Actually, it is.
Oh shit! Oh, what is this?
Okay, so
no, really?
Yeah. This piece of shit. This Wakiti or whatever his name is, he almost single-handedly began the downfall of the MCU.
Yes,
with Thor Ragnarok, and part of the where is he? Part of it is this right here. I had no interest in doing one of these films. He said it wasn't on my plan for my career as an auteur, but I was poor and I just had a second kid. I thought, you know what, this would be a great opportunity to feed these children. They called and said, do you want to do this? And Thor, let's face it, was probably Marvel's least popular franchise. I never read Thor comics when I was a kid, he added. Yeah. I did some research on it, and I read one full comic, all 18 pages, or however long they are, I was still baffled by this character. The guy doesn't understand the source material. He doesn't care.
Wow.
And so
Nope.
he decided he was going to make this a comedy. And what
He goes one step further, Graham. He has sheer contempt for not only Thor, but comic books.
Yes,
Yeah,
he doesn't
read
like
that,
comics. He doesn't like Thor, and so he makes it a big joke. And in so doing, he depowers the two most powerful characters in the Marvel universe. Because later on we see what happens to Thor, and in this one, Hulk becomes Soy Hulk, the beginning of Soy Hulk.
I love that name.
And the biggest thing for me was that the backstory of this was really about a decimation of the Asgardian race and people. I mean, half of Asgard is destroyed. The survivors have to move to another planet, and it ends up being Earth. So it's sort of analogous to the Jews in Germany, and being destroyed, 6 million of them killed. And if you keep that analogy going, at the very end, they're all in their spaceship ready to go, and they're looking out at the devastation, and there's like one building standing there or something, and he says, well, maybe we can rebuild. And then that building, something tips over and falls like a joke. And then the character goes, well, maybe not, So it's their world has just been destroyed, and they're finding something funny to laugh about. I freaking hated the contempt for these characters that I loved.
Yeah, and the only reason it even was passable was Chris Hemsworth. That guy can go, like, even though it's absurd or it's over the top humor, that guy can bring like feeling and a depth of feeling out of almost nowhere. Like the story didn't really give it to him, but there were moments that actually grounded that ridiculous story, and it was all that guy. You know what I mean? It was none of the other actors. It wasn't the story. It wasn't the direction. It wasn't anything. And also, they gave a villain that wasn't even worthy of Thor. Like that villain was like, how did you get that power? How did you get to this point? You're just ridiculous.
Who's the chick? Who's the chick in there? Is she an Asgardian?
It's Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Oh, Valkyrie. Yeah. The gay black Valkyrie.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So total loser. Movie.
Yeah, and you know what? It was a complete waste of like a Led Zeppelin song. Like the beginning, it showed some promise. He's in that cage, and he's kind of in, and he's fighting that. Well, I forget the villains.
Is it Surtur? Is that his name? Who's fighting? Yeah.
And then when the hammer comes, you hear. And he catches it. It's just wreaks havoc. Like that was the best part in the whole movie. Yeah, that and the when he fights the Hulk, in the gladiatorial thing.
Yeah.
But
kind of like
other
Hulk.
Yeah, and we have Steak Lopresti to thank for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron got a big payday off that Planet Hulk type stuff in Thor Ragnarok, right?
You're muted, Aaron.
You're muted.
It's your moment.
You're muted, Steak Boy.
I was going to say, I had to go cry about it, but I finally got some money from Marvel for it. They didn't even give me those thank yous at the end of the movie. It's not like I drew half of that.
You got a nice check, didn't you?
Huh?
You got a nice check, though.
Well, I don't know if you consider $5,000 a nice check, but it was better than nothing.
Yeah.
So,
not really, though.
I know. I'd rather have had the screen credit, actually.
Don't you remember that from Mad Men? When what's her name was crying that Don never says thank you to her. What's her
Peggy?
name? Peggy.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's what the money's for.
Yeah.
Well, you get paid. You get paid to do this. You need a fucking
right.
slap, a thank you, and a attaboy.
So, Aaron, you didn't even get a red carpet. You didn't even get to walk the red carpet or anything.
No, I wasn't. No, nothing. I had nothing.
Well, did you get invited?
Dude, I never got to see anything of the Batman movie that Bane was in. I mean, they didn't invite me.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, and they didn't even give me credit.
Well, don't they invite normally? They normally like the Marvel movie, they invite a lot of the comic creators, Todd Knott goes a lot, but they got to pay. For
Yeah,
them
but
to
he
go.
lives in
They don't
California.
pay for anything.
Yeah,
They just give you the movie ticket.
Yeah, here's a ticket. And they
Yeah.
take
But you have to pay for it when you
be
get
like,
there.
Not
You have
even
to pay for it.
Not even popcorn.
no,
I know.
you got.
And you know
You
how
gotta
much
buy the popcorn at the
Raisinets
movie.
are at Man's Chinese Theater?
How much?
They're
You
like
think-
they're
you
like
think at a movie-
$5,000.
I think at a movie premiere, it would be, you know, free at the snack and, you know, drink line and stuff at a movie premiere.
You'd think that if you created a major character in the movie, that they might pony up a few bucks so that you could walk the red carpet and promote it, you know, and say, hey, yeah, I'm one of the creators, blah, blah, blah. It makes them look good. It costs them a few $1,000 bucks. It's no big deal. They write the whole damn thing off. And, you know.
You know what I think it is? I think it's representation. Like if you think of like Bob Layton, you know, he has Hollywood representation, like Jim Starlin. You know, these guys have agents, so they probably go in there and they negotiate this shit.
More so than just agents.
They don't get put up in a hotel or travel and all that.
No, but they get to go to the red carpet though. They get invited.
You know, it's not their agents that do it. And this is something I learned about just working with around other comic artists that have done things. They hire PR people.
That's where I was going. Yeah, they have somebody that represents
because a PR person is roughly like the good ones are $2,500 to $3,000 a month, and they will get you on, like, depending if they're really good, they can get you on a talk show, they can get you on a radio show, they could get you on news interviews, and then they can also put you in events, so your picture is taken next to other people. So
I can see the wheels turning in Graham Nolan's head right now. As soon as
I know.
Over, he's going to be making some calls.
But no, that's we could talk more about it after. But I know many individuals that do that, and it does them well.
Yeah, they get on those things. They get interviewed. Yeah. All right, Mr. Steak Lopresti, what do you got?
Well, this is the only movie. The reason it's on this list, I don't know if it's the worst one, but it's the only. There's the first movie I went to that I actually wanted to walk out of. I did.
Yes.
The only reason I didn't is because I brought my mom with me because she wanted, because I always take my mom to movies. Well, I can't anymore because you didn't get around that well, but back in the day, I always did. And
that's a shitty poster. Oh my God.
It's a horrible poster too.
Oh yeah.
And I turned to my mom after we watched this and I said, God, that was awful. I said, I wanted to walk out of it. And she goes, yeah, so did I, but I didn't because I didn't figure you would. And I said, I didn't go because I didn't want you to miss it. We both were ready to walk out. And my mom likes Star Trek 5. So if, that just gives, she's very tolerant of bad movies. And this was epically bad. I couldn't believe what I was sitting there watching. It was so bad. And I thought, this is what you get when you let stars like leverage you in, okay, Christopher Reeve says he'll do Star Trek 4, but you got to let him write the script. Okay. And you're like, no, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Did he?
This is when Hollywood was in love with the no nukes thing, right? Like,
yes.
Christopher Reeve was. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Look at the perspective.
America's standing up for themselves against the Soviets. Oh, let's crumble. Bunch of pussies. My God.
If you put your thumb over his head, it almost works. It's just it looks like a paste-up job.
I was going to say the only thing good in here is the Christopher Reeve's likeness. Everything else is really bad. Also look at the perspective of the missile silo. Like, what the hell kind of cartoon? It looks like they're just kind of stacked and they're like toothpicks.
All over,
Yeah, and how big is that missile? I mean, look he's holding part of the tip of it in his hand, and yet it's so big when it's far away. It's like, what is this?
This is so stupid. When we were kids, we'd say, "This is phony. This is so phony."
Yeah.
This movie. This was actually on my list too. It is just so bad. I actually Googled the guy that played Nuclear Man, and
Oh,
it
God.
must have just ruined his career because he didn't really do anything.
How did they get Gene Hackman to be in this movie? How much? They
Money.
must have paid
A
him
lot of money, I
butt
guess.
load, man.
You know
Hello,
that
Gene
that's where
Hackman.
all the budget went.
Gene
And-
Hackman was one of those guys that just wanted to work. Like he was in everything. Like you would see about that time, you see him in everything.
He didn't
Oh,
do
yeah.
a lot of bad movies though, but this one, whew.
This one wasn't.
And
I thought
Margot
he was.
Kidder
I thought he
hardly
was
in this.
miscast as Luther anyway. I didn't like his take on it.
No, I love the first two, but the Margot Kidder's hardly in this either. If you remember, she has like a cameo. Is it? I don't know.
Who's
if
Yeah,
she-
well, he's looking rough by
Hit
then.
the wall pretty hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
who's
like 84. She's starting to get pretty rough.
Yeah, she was a little rough in 78, you know.
Well, she was- she was
who's
really
the
into-
girl? Who's the other girl that's on the right of Hackman?
Oh, that's
Margot Hemingway, right?
Yeah, Hemingway. Yeah.
There you go.
Ooh, when she was but a youngster. Yeah,
You
she
got
was
a
pretty.
young John Cryer in there.
Yeah.
Is it
John,
really?
Is he still
Yeah,
wearing
although
the
he's
ducky
right.
hair? The ducky
ducky
hair from
hair.
Pretty in Pink?
Yeah, he was like Gene Hackman's nephew in this. It was almost like that. It was so stupid.
Oh,
Like
it was
he
like
was training
Austin
to be a
Powers,
bad
right?
guy
It was
or
kind of
something?
Austin Powers-ish with Austin
Right.
Powers' son.
Exactly. It's exactly what it was. It was, and then the whole plot, and then
This wasn't
Did you
the
add
one with
Aaron?
with like rounding things up to like a penny or something like that. That was the one with Richard Pryor, right? Was that the third one?
Oh.
yes,
Yeah, that one was bad
wasn't
too.
That
it
one
had a couple
wasn't
good
that
scenes in it, but it was not a good movie.
Yeah, this one
I
is
heard the
definitely
idea
worse
that
than
Richard
three.
Pryor was the villain. So Superman, right? He goes against Lex Luthor in Superman, right? Great movie. Then he goes against 3 Supermen in Superman 2, and then the villain in Superman 3 is Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor.
Hey, cocaine's a hell of a
You know,
drug.
you think you can get bigger, you know, like I don't know, Fing Fang Foom or some type of Godzilla.
Well,
they
wait.
have-
Yeah. Hey, Paulus Arts. It was both. That's where they got the idea
Yes,
for Office Space. Was
Yeah.
from Superman 3.
Oh, that's great.
What?
Yeah,
The
they
skimming fractions
referenced
of
the
pennies.
movie. Yeah, in Office Space, which is a brilliant movie.
Yeah.
They referenced Superman 3 in.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Like, what was it like? Taking a penny, like rounding it,
Just
up or
rounding it
something,
up. Yeah, rounding it up.
Yeah, and then just stealing the money, like a penny over like $1 billion. You know,
Right.
it's
Well,
like,
Robert Vaughn was the bad guy in that movie, trying to, and I remember he had that one line where he goes to Richard Pryor and he goes, "All I asked you to do was kill Superman, and you couldn't do that one simple thing." And Richard Pryor's like,
So Camel Moon said the third one was supposed to be Brainiac, but they couldn't get the rights. He said,
what?
"How could they not?"
Yeah,
Well,
how-
the-
I don't
Did
know.
DC
Superman 3
Comics play hardball over the Brainiac character?
well, hang on a second. Warner Brothers did the first 2 movies, so they should have had rights. Unless did Canon take over with the 3rd and 4th movie, or just the 4th?
Could
No,
be.
this has got a
says
Warner Brothers
at the
logo
bottom.
on it.
It's
Like
got a
the
Yeah,
clothing
poster.
one too, though.
Well,
Yeah,
they
but
might have
Canon-
distributed it.
Yeah, Canon did this film, and they might have done the 3rd
Yeah.
one. That may be why they didn't give them the rights.
Oh,
That's
gee.
funny. That is funny.
"That's crazy."
One of you guys picked your toes in Poughkeepsie. You know you did.
What?
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 Was
What?
It wasn't
you guys
me.
don't know the Popeye Doyle reference? Gene Hackman's greatest role.
Oh,
You picked your toes in Poughkeepsie. You know you did.
Oh shit! I already see Graham's Chambered. That's one that I have, but I think I got another one. All
now,
right. Well, I'm gonna.
Superman 4 was supposed to have Brainiac in it. There's a YouTube feature about it.
Well, the
Oh,
good thing about Brainiac is they still haven't used the character, and they need to with
Well,
technology the way it is
the other
now.
thing-
Brainiac.
The other thing, real quick, is that Richard Pryor had a contract for X amount of pictures with Warner Brothers,
Mm.
and they were just sticking him in everything to get the contract.
oh,
And that's why he ended up in Superman 3.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's incredible.
All right.
Art,
this
if you
movie-
want to take that one,
Oh,
that's fine. I have another one I can go to.
It's
I've got
good.
a
I
long
got this. I got this one right here. This is
Okay.
the Green Lantern. Can you see this?
that was
Yeah.
on my list. Believe it or not, and I own this movie because I'm such a Green Lantern fan, but even I can admit they totally screwed the pooch on it.
Oh yeah.
And it's all the story. The story, it's so damn bad. Like they couldn't figure out what it had to be. It's like, listen, man, just make it a Green Lantern origin story. That's all it has to be. You know, like I remember having a conversation with Mark Miller about, like, this was before the Marvel Universe. This was before Green Lantern. I said, there's two characters that will work cinematically. I said, it's Green Lantern and it's Iron Man. He disagreed. And I said, the reason Green Lantern will work is because his powers come from outer space. Weirdly, as like the way we accept things thematically, we will accept aliens and we will accept alien abilities for some reason. Look at all, like, you know, E.T., look at, you know, Close Encounters, like people will accept that. So when a human gets an alien power, it's totally believable for the masses, because this is before, you know, the Marvel Universe, before they figured out how to sell to the masses and all that stuff. So these, you know, comic book properties were still hard sells. So I was like, Green Lantern could work, man. Because this was also when I had the conversation with Mark, was like X-Files was still real popular and all this stuff. I said, people love that and people will accept that. And then Iron Man, it's a suit that keeps him alive. You know what I mean? I think people can relate to that. You know, he's a billionaire and, you know, he builds weapons. So I thought that cinematically both those, you know, characters would work. Iron Man obviously, you know, worked because they had a good story. Green Lantern should have just focused on an origin. I think if they would have just focused on the origin and didn't show like Oa or any of the bigger picture stuff, just had him struggling, like he finds the ring or the ring finds him, and then he's just figuring out what this ring is, where it comes from, all of that stuff. I think it would have been an entirely better movie. And then at the end, let me finish. Like then at the end, the bigger world exposes itself, right? Then at the end, you see he's one of this galactic police force, and that there's this, you know, this place called Oa, and there's millions of these guys just like him. And then at that point, you introduce, you know, what's the Yellow Lantern's name? Sinestro. You know, and then you just kind of like seemingly make him like his buddy. Like, hey, welcome to Oa, blah blah blah. Set up for the next movie, right? What were you going to say, Andy?
Well, I was just going to say, I think, you know, you definitely have to do the origin, which they did in this, but I think they just should have had Sinestro go bad and be the villain in the movie, not that stupid
Hector Hammond.
Well, they did two villains. They did Hector Hammond and oh god, what's the Parallax?
Right.
Parallax.
And
that was too
Parallax
much.
Was just, yeah, it was just too much. When, you know, sure, the major populace doesn't go, it's not as popular as Superman, where Superman, who's the villain, most people obviously know, they go, oh, Lex Luthor. You know, if you ask about Green Lantern, most people aren't going to go, oh, it's Sinestro. But you're also still pitching towards comic book people. And that's what they expected. And instead, they get freaking Hector Hammond and Parallax. And Parallax is like, what? And the way they did Parallax was stupid. So
the main problem with that film is, and this is true with like the Spider-Man movies, is that they throw everything into it, trying to create a bully base of a movie script, because they don't have a solid enough script. So they just throw everything but the kitchen sink in there. We have to have a bunch of different villains. Nobody cares about how many villains you have. Just give one good villain. Give one good reason for Green Lantern to do what he's doing.
I think if they would have played up the mystery, like he doesn't really know what this is, and then it just leads to, you know, exposing him to the bigger universe that is the Green Lantern Corps. I thought that would have been, keep it small, and maybe have. But I think if you brought in what's his name again? The Yellow Lantern. I forgot his name.
Sinestro.
If you brought Sinestro in, I think you would be tipping your hat too early that he's part of this bigger world. So I think you could make a very cool character-driven story with just him finding the powers. You would have to bring some kind of villain in, but I'm not sure that it would be good to bring in that character that early on.
I think he's miscast though, because Green Lantern, before he's this super cop, he was Chuck Yeager. He was a test pilot, and a hard as nails kind of guy. The man had no fear. It's why the Ring chose him and didn't choose Batman or Superman or anybody else. It chose him out of everybody, and that's what made Hal Jordan special and unique. So he should have been more of a badass before he got his ring. When we got to find out, that he has no fear. And
they kind of did this weird, like, gray, like they weren't really committing to, like, is he fearful? Is he not fearful? Like it was such a weird, wishy-washy way that they did the character.
He was too much of like a boy. I think John Hamm would have been a great Hal Jordan.
Yeah. I agree. He was too boyish.
If they had connected Top Gun,
yes,
because Tom Cruise could have played it, like the Maverick character could have totally played it. Being that sort of that on the edge. See him. Yeah, I can see him. Then, especially in '86, But the one thing that I think about is what you were saying. Are sometimes these space things are hard to sell, but then you take a franchise that when they said they were going to make a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, I was like, why? And now they're some of my favorite, especially the first one. So I think they could have handled Green Lantern in that way. Take a little bit of what Graham is talking about, what everybody else is talking about with the casting, what you're talking about with art, and see how it was done right, and you might have a good relaunch.
Yeah, to me, it was a no-brainer. Like this thing wrote itself. It would have been a walk in the park. It would have been an easy sell. But man, could they have not missed the mark more?
Oh,
just totally. On almost every point in the movie.
The problem with every single one of these failed superhero franchises is you have people that do not understand comic books and they don't understand the characters and they think they're stupid. So what do? They try to turn them into comedies. Right. And then the thing is, what my understanding was always, look, you put someone in a costume on camera, it's already silly. So you got to play it dead straight just to get away with it. If you start trying to play it as a comedy, it becomes stupid. And that's
just like Adam West
every single one of these movies is they would not commit to taking it seriously. So then, let the humor, if there's a little bit of humor here and there, let it come out in the script or let it come out in the situation. But you don't. It was Ryan Reynolds being goofy and stupid, and you're like, "That's not Green Lantern." No one. You don't take. If you don't take it seriously, how is the audience going to ever take it?
These are our myths. Costume on for the first time, and he goes, "Ha! Look at that!
Isn't that cool?
It is cool." And it's like, shut up, man! You're supposed to be a hotshot, pilot, and then you're eventually going to become, this badass super cop of the universe.
Also, you can fly now. You can fly without a plane. Like, fuck, that's pretty damn cool. Yeah, I think the thing is, like, when you were talking, Aaron, I was thinking like Adam West, like that Batman 66. He played it straight.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He was sincere, and that's what sold it. It was ridiculous. The concept was ridiculous, but he was sincere. And I think that is kind of a lost art for him because now almost all entertainment has to be ironic, right? The character has to poke fun
and self-aware.
Right, self-aware. Right. Yeah. You can't play the character as like being sincere about whatever it is happening because obviously the viewers think it's ridiculous. So then we shouldn't take it seriously either. It's a ridiculous idea. So let's play it up as it's ridiculous. I blame Joss Whedon for that. But even Joss Whedon in the day had a balance, right? He could balance that kind of like, I'm going to poke fun at, oh, fuck, it's werewolves. You can grow hair now, like in Buffy the Vampire Slayer or whatever. Right. But then he could actually switch it dramatically, and the tone would work, and it would almost be flawless. But I think that most people can't do that. But I think that's like the template that almost all these Hollywood directors use now. And I just think, like you're saying, Aaron, it's just wrong. It doesn't work.
Look at Graham's example of Thor Ragnarok, right? You got a director who doesn't understand the material. So what does he do? I'll turn it into a comedy.
Yeah.
You know, that's his answer. And it's like,
because it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous concept. So that we're going to show everybody that it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and how stupid it is.
Because we live in an ironic world where, you know, we
His
can't
kids would starve.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. All right, Andy, what's your second? And then I got to take a break, man. I've been drinking too much fluid, so
we'll continue to gripe about Green Lantern.
I could put 4 minutes of Jennifer Connelly.
Okay, you can just share it.
I want to take a break.
This one.
No, well, that knocks it off my list.
Yeah,
It kind of it goes with kind of what you were saying. Schumacher took it and was just like, "Hey, George Clooney has a Batman credit card," and you know, and
never leaves home without it.
That's right.
Chill.
Oh God, it was just so bad, and it had Bane in it, and they even cartooned him up too much. I
Bane
thought
was in this.
Yep.
No.
Yeah,
he is.
That's the first.
That's right. He's at the on the top of the building or whatever, doing the water tower.
Yeah, he was connected to Poison Ivy somehow.
Yeah, he was Poison Ivy's like thug.
That's
boy.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they have nipples. They all had nipples.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Built
That
into
nipples,
this.
yeah.
Everybody has nipples, but you know.
Well, and even that shot when they were getting, you know, the whole getting dressed and everything.
Oh, the butt cakes,
the boots, and then just showing everything.
Oh,
it's just
the butt shots. Yeah,
so gay.
Yep.
So gay.
It's so gay.
You know what these movies felt like? Well, after Burton left, it felt like that Joel Schumacher was not aware of the comics. He was only aware of the 1966 TV show and said, what if we make that into a full feature with big budget, and didn't get it at all, you know?
Yeah, that's totally what it felt like. All this needed was the
made
sound
the
effects when people got punched.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made the third one with Val Kilmer. And that one wasn't bad.
I hated it, but not as much as I hated this.
Yeah, no, it went downhill. That one wasn't as bad. That was what Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, I hated them.
Yeah,
but I hated the makeup. I didn't mind Jim Carrey's like costume design, but Tommy Lee Jones, they just took it so far over the top with the caricature, almost like Dick Tracy. You know,
they were all hamming it up so bad. You know, it's like, dude, reel those guys in.
Yeah.
So that's short and sweet.
This show is putting me in a bad mood.
It's your turn to bring it back around.
Bring it, yeah. We're only gonna do two. We're just gonna do one more round.
I don't think we could take more than two. I got one to share with you. We'll all agree on this one.
I love this because the reason I kind of like this is because I try to figure out how to make it better too. You know, like where they kind of dropped the ball and how they could have done it better. So that's why I like this, like critical, you know, thinking about how they tell a story and all this other stuff. So I try not to look at it as a negative. Is this it? Is this it right here?
Yeah.
This was one of mine too. Yeah.
The movie that ended Sean Connery's career.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit.
It forced him into retirement.
20 years ago, Sean Connery.
I'm not going to be able to send any shit anymore.
Fuck film.
Oh my God, with such source material, how could you go wrong with it? You know, and just fucking garbage. Worst effects.
I call it an automobile.
Doing breakdancing and kicking people in the face while doing so.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about this one.
I mean, just what Alan Moore must be. I'm surprised he didn't hang himself after this.
Yeah. That Nemo, or what's his name?
Captain Nemo.
Captain Nemo, into just a joke, and like he was like just the inventor guy, right? And then that car comes out. It's like, whoa, what do you call it? I call it the automobile. I'm like, oh my God, this is so stupid.
Yeah, I'm like, the car was cool, the Nautilus was cool. The rest of the movie was fucking garbage. Garbage. Just fucking garbage. And again, the source material, this is one of those movies that you, even if you didn't go with the source material, you have all these amazing characters through literary history, through literature, and you still fuck it up. Like,
I like that. I
The
like
writers
that.
probably never read any of it, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
and obviously
same thing.
never did. Never, not a one.
Didn't they have the token American in there? Was it
Tom Sawyer. He
it was Tom Sawyer. Yeah,
God, garbage. Holy fuck.
yeah.
I
Oh,
like the
I
Invisible
mean, you-
Man's hat right there.
Yeah,
just a hat.
yeah. Every one of these characters could have his own movie, right? Like they're all stars in their own right. And then just, man, I'll tell you, when this book came out, I was like, holy shit. I can't believe nobody thought of this idea before
Right.
Alan Moore did, right? Like it's such a
Yeah.
great concept.
Mhm.
And then how do you screw it up this bad? Oh, I'm going to
Well-
take this. This is Fox Mulder. Speaking of X-Files, $10 super chat. Thank you very much. I remember an interview with Connery at the time where he admitted he only took the role because he had to feed his children. What? He only took the
No.
role because he had turned down roles in The Matrix and Lord of the Rings. Well, he should have taken those roles instead. Yeah. I couldn't imagine him in Lord of the Rings.
I didn't
It's like-
realize he didn't do anything after this.
yeah,
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
he
either.
retired after this.
this was it.
Killed him.
man.
They just killed him.
I'm always amazed.
Yeah, he turned down the role of Gandalf.
Did he really?
Really?
Really sad.
I don't think he could have played it. I get the feeling that he's not physically all there. Like even in that movie, was it called The Rock? What was that
Oh, The
movie?
Rock's great.
No, The Rock.
It's
with
a
Nick
good
Cage.
movie, but you know that all those shots were pulled back and stuff. It's not really Connery, doing most of those shots. Like it's a stand-in. Like I don't
Wasn't
think
he
he's
like
that helpful.
70 when he made The Rock. I mean, he was
Yeah, but just think about like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen that came way after,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or Lord of the Rings. Like he wouldn't have been able to do that trek. He would have died. He would have died on this side.
He didn't really go to.
Yeah, they didn't really
You
do the
shall
trek
not
though.
pass.
It's a movie.
You shall not.
You shall not pass.
You know what's
Shall not
interesting?
pass.
Well, you know what's interesting is most actors, I mean, like 90% plus, couldn't tell a good script from a bad script, right? So they're relying on somebody like their agent or someone to sell them something. And it reminds me of there's this clip going around of who's Ben Affleck's buddy?
Matt Damon.
Matt
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Talking about having a conversation with Jack Nicholson in the movie they did with Scorsese. And he said that
The Undeparted.
yeah. And Scorsese left the room and he said they were sitting there, not talking. And all of a sudden Nicholson goes, "You know why I'm such a great actor?" And he goes, "No." And he goes, "Because I'm an effing great writer." And that, if you look at Nicholson, though, how many bad movies has that dude been in?
Yeah.
Not
You're right.
many. And so it's
And
like,
he started his career as a screenwriter.
Oh,
there you go. And
I
it's
didn't
like,
know that. I didn't know
Did he
that.
really?
Yeah.
these
Did he
guys,
write-
Yeah, he was writing screen stuff for Roger Corman.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
These guys' inability to recognize a good part from a bad part is why so many of them end up in so many bad movies because they just don't know the difference.
And the thing about like new films is they're still writing the script while they're filming it. Like how do you even realize what you're signing on for? That would be really tough.
That's what actually happened with. I was going to show this as the third one, but real quick, that's what happened with Madam Web. Dakota Johnson signed on for one thing, the way the movie was described to her, and then the script just, came in and with rewrites and crap and all that BS that was added to it, totally different. But couldn't really do anything about it.
Well, I heard like what's his name? The guy played Tony Stark, Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey, yeah.
They didn't even have a shooting script when that first Iron Man went into production. Now it's coming out that they actually credit him and Jon Favreau for crafting the story on the fly.
Yeah.
Well, they pulled it off.
Yeah,
they sure
did pull it off.
Yeah, pull that off.
Pull that off.
Well,
I mean,
if ever there was a movie that was totally dependent on the lead actor, it's Iron Man.
Oh yeah.
Oh hell yeah. I just think like they could have done that with Green Lantern. I'm sorry, I'm still harping on the Green Lantern thing.
Well,
it's a missed opportunity.
They could have.
Any movie has the potential to be good if it's well written. The problem is the tough part.
Didn't the guy that directed
And the cast, you got to cast that lead guy.
Yeah.
You know?
And
Downey
wrote
Jr.
that
was
Green
perfect.
Lantern? Wasn't that the James Bond guy? He did
That's what,
Casino
somebody in the chat
Royale.
said.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
clearly,
crazy.
again, if you don't have an understanding of the source material you're working from, you're going to fail.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. All right, Fraga boom. What's your second?
Hold on a second. I'm pulling up.
That's what she said.
I gotta pull up this image really quick, just because since we don't have 3, and I wish that we had 3.
We could do a quick runner up. We could just
that's
go,
what I'll do.
Yeah,
that's what I'll do. Okay,
because I
so
have one too.
Yeah, let me I'll share my screen. This was I'm gonna preload this with this was a great disappointment to me and my friends.
Well, take a moment because I still don't see your thing there. But Baggins and the Banshee for $10. Thank you so much for the super chat. Jack Nicholson wrote and produced. That's what I didn't know the movie. Ed for the Monkeys. I knew he had some kind of association with the Monkeys. Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
That's they're
the Monkeys, the 60s.
They're in like his hair, like a forest, like ticks, like those commercials for dandruff. It's terrible.
Let's like
Billy, come on now.
Okay, so here we go.
It's terrible.
This was a gigantic disappointment for my pals and me, because we were all in on that Circle of Blood, the Mike Zeck miniseries, like that was the Punisher, and the Punisher iconography of the skull was they
didn't even use it, did they, in this movie?
It was on a boot, not a boot knife. The handle of the boot knife had a little skull. So this one bummed me out. And I love Dolph Lundgren too. I was like, Dolph Lundgren, this looked like it could have been anybody, and it could have been anybody. They didn't need to call it the Punisher. And sadly,
how did he say? I know I saw it, but how did he? I don't remember. How did he sound in it?
Like Dolph Lundgren.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And then, which is crazy because you got Robert Kamen, who was a producer.
You got Louis Gossett Jr., who we just lost in it.
Yeah. Robert Kamen wrote all the Karate Kid movies and all that. He was just a producer on this one. And then dishonorable mention. That's what we're calling it. Dishonorable.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh shit. That was the TV movie.
It doesn't matter, man. It's still
I know. I'm just saying.
It's still a Marvel.
He actually looks good though, as Nick Fury.
He does.
He does look good.
Yeah.
He just can't really act.
He just can't really.
God, I never saw these movies.
You know what, Aaron? He can't act, but the man can sing.
Oh, yeah. He's a head German.
Yes.
He shouldn't have been clean shaven either. He needed some gruff there, didn't he?
Something. And a cigar.
I think there are shots when he has a cigar, or am I making that up?
What was that Dolph Lundgren movie where he was fighting an alien or something? He goes, "I come in peace," and he goes, "You go in pieces."
You go in pieces.
Was it called "I Come in Peace"? I think, or something. It was just.
I don't think that's Dolph though. I think it's some wrestling dude.
Oh, was
I remember that.
Dolph was in Universal Soldier, Rocky IV, Punisher.
Universal Soldier should have been better.
I'm gonna look it up.
Oh yeah, He-Man or Masters of the Universe, whatever.
My friend worked on that. He was a makeup man on Masters of the Universe. He said Dolph was a coke maniac. Like
Really?
he snorted so much. Yeah.
Oh boy,
Those
had
are
to
the times
really
to do it, dude. That was what,
Yeah.
86, 87? That was like,
Yeah.
Who played Skeletor? Frank Langella.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
That
Yeah.
was so
Oh,
bad.
great actor.
So
but
bad.
no, he really chewed the scenery in that one. You know, it was an excellent, excellent Skeletor.
He was an excellent Skeletor.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I Come in Peace. It was also called Dark Angel, and it did indeed star Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, I
Oh,
apologize then. Yeah.
Right.
What
I
is the
didn't know
one?
that.
Maybe I'm thinking of Laser Blast. What's the one where the guy gets the like alien technology and it's like a blaster.
It's called Laser Blast, and
It's called it's
It's
called
Laser Blast, and it came out in 1978. It had them weird turtle-headed aliens.
Yeah, did we
Yeah,
watch
I thought
the
that
trailer
was
for
the
that on
same
the
movie.
Canadian?
Yeah, and he had that necklace that was like burning into his chest and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
He got
and he
like
couldn't
them
take
crazy dark. Yeah, and he's just like running around the desert. That movie terrified me as a child.
I apologize, Aaron. I thought it was that movie. I thought it was Laser Blast.
Laser Blast.
It turns out it was
fucking
another
freak
cheesy
show,
movie.
dude.
Yeah. All right, Graham Nolan, is this you right here?
This is me, and this is
I
about the
have
only
to-
movie I ever almost walked out of. And
I
the
have
only
to
thing that
agree.
kept me in it was that Gal Gadot had just showed up on screen.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, wait a minute. Maybe I'll just stay and see what happens here. She wasn't worth the whole movie.
But the
boy,
pizza
was
guy
this
comes
horrible.
over, the pizza guy comes over, it's going to get crazy.
Martha? Did you say Martha?
Why'd you
say Martha? Yeah. Do you bleed? Oh my God.
It was
So
what about
horrible.
the color palette? It was just mud.
Yeah.
Muddy. Oh.
You know what else?
Yeah.
This is like I think Zack
Two
Snyder.
dicks fighting.
Yeah. You know how we were talking
Two
about
dicks
like everything being so like campy and silly or whatever. Like this was just the opposite. It could have used some fun, some excitement. It was just way too dark. And the thing is too, like I really despise Zack Snyder's filmmaking. I hate it.
So do
And
I.
okay, he took Dark Knight Returns, right? The Frank Miller, and thought, yeah, I'll bring this to the big screen, right? But he completely misses the point about I'll make you bleed. What Batman tries to do is he realizes Superman is the most powerful entity, but he's losing his way. He's losing his way. He's just become a corporate and a government stooge. He doesn't really fight for the people. He's just losing his direction, right? So what Batman does, Bruce Wayne recognizes that that's what's happening. And so when he says, I'm going to make you bleed in the comic book, what he's trying to do, what it means is I'm going to help you find your humanity. I'm going to help you find your purpose. And so when he makes Superman bleed, he humbles him. He takes him down a notch and lets him know that he is still human, like he can bleed, right? So that was the point of the Frank Miller comic book. But that is nowhere in this movie. And what Zack Snyder does, the lazy screenwriter, is he just makes it like that Batman hates Superman. He just hates him and he wants him dead.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is that? At that point, he has the same motive as what's his name? Lex Luthor. Yeah.
Well, and also, nothing but nothing, but he has to be the world's dumbest, greatest detective of all time, of ever, right? He's supposed to be the world's greatest detective, and boy, was he fucking stupid in this movie.
Also, you know what? If you're gonna really do Batman versus Superman, the movie's 30 seconds long.
Exactly.
Superman is gonna kill him in less than a second, with his super speed, and it's over, Bruce. It's over.
It was a ridiculous premise. It was a ridiculous premise from the start. I've said this before on my live streams because I'm so outspoken about this Zack Snyder. He's just such a clown. It's like if they pitch this, if somebody pitched this to me and I was a Warner Brothers exec and they said Batman versus Superman, I would have said exactly the same thing you did, Graham.
Yeah.
Where's the movie? It would last like a second. Superman would cream Batman's corn. It would be over in a minute, in a second, actually. So where's
he
the
could take
movie?
his head off right in this scene. He's standing right next to him. He could crush his heart. He could, it would just, there's a million things he could do.
He could shoot his eye vision right into his head.
Right through his head. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It is. It's not even. It's just so bad. And I really hated that Zach was like, oh man, he gets comics. He's read all these comics. He knows what's going on. And it's like, no, he does not know.
All he's read is Frank Miller's dystopian view of DC Comics.
Right. And Alan Moore. That's all he knows is the deconstruction of a hero and all that kind of crap.
You should have read New Frontier by Dark Cook.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
and that cartoon, was actually pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It actually was very good.
Yeah. So I could not agree more with you, Graham Nolan. This was the next one on the chopping block for me as well.
So am I giving an honorable mention then?
Yeah, go for it.
Do.
Okay, honorable mention is Avengers Endgame. That's the last one, right?
Oh, really?
Whatever the last one was,
Yeah,
it was bad.
Yeah,
was the last
that one was just the continuation of the stuff that I hated in Ragnarok. And particularly, we have now Big Lebowski Thor, and then we've got Ultra Soy Hulk, and I've talked about how that movie should have ended. And then you also have the cringy female pose off where they all show up at the same time for the big posing moment, and all of this was done and depowered just so that they could make that crappy Captain Marvel character the most powerful character in the Marvel universe. She comes in from outer space like Superman, and to save the day, when it should have been, and I've said this on streams, what they should have done was, Thanos is he's kind of wrecking havoc. It's not going good for the heroes and everything. And we cut back to Tony Stark's house, which is only being held up by Soy Boy Hulk. And this was the final thing that turns him back into Rage Hulk, which they showed you earlier in the film as so cool. That's what it should have happened. It should have been Rage Hulk, ultimate Rage Hulk. He's never been madder than that. Throws the fucking house off of him, and he comes over and he beats the living shit out of Thanos.
Shit, he could have hit the house. Thanos could have been there, and all of a sudden he looks up at a fucking house as Tony Stark's house comes down and crashes on him. That Hulk fucking threw the house on him.
Yeah, because you're right, Graham. Like they had one opportunity where they could have just completely let the Hulk off of the leash and just let him hit his ultimate power abilities.
Make him look Kirby-like, right? Like he starts to really angry.
And he gets bigger. Like I would have made him get fucking massive. He would get bigger, and then just have him, because they also set it up where Thanos beat him, at the earlier. So this would be a perfect rematch, for the two characters.
Well, that's what turned him into a coward, which I never bought that.
Right.
I know.
That was the whole cowardly Soy Hulk.
Right.
Yeah, he couldn't get it up too. Wasn't he in the Hulkbuster suit? He just couldn't get a hard on.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
If they could have had the Rage Hulk come in, battle Thanos like Captain Marvel did, and then have Tony come in and do his thing at the end, and
right.
At least they had the cool Thor.
Right.
Yeah, they had the cool Thor beat
turnaround
in there where he gets the Stormbringer or whatever, and then he impales him.
Yeah.
Stormbreaker. Yeah, at least they got that in there. But I think that's the movie before that, right? Or is it?
Yeah, he got Stormbreaker in Infinity War, and then the hammer was put back something because Cap carried the hammer in Endgame.
Yeah. Why do that? It's such a.
I didn't mind Cap being able to pick the hammer up. If anybody could, it'd be Cap.
Yeah, I just don't like. I think there's a uniqueness to Thor, and it's the hammer, and I just don't like other characters using somebody's abilities like that.
But for a movie moment, it was a good movie moment, though.
If he would have caught it and then handed it over,
when it comes to him and he gets that stupid pose move that. I hate that stuff. I hate the stick the landing pose. I hate
that. That got a little tiresome. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
And
that's the
then
problem with that
every-
pose. A few
Yeah.
times with the pose by the same character is one thing, but when everybody freaking does it,
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
then it's like,
And then-
seriously, nobody else knows how to land a different way.
Right.
Right.
And then everybody can generate a shield. Like every one of those
Yeah.
characters had a shield, that they could manifest. And I'm like,
Well, that's how you sell action figures with shields.
Mhm.
well, you
Right.
could do that, but you don't have to bring it into the film. So what I think, Aaron, are you next? Yeah.
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 All right. Here it is.
Let's get this
Uh-oh.
over with.
Oh,
Yeah. Here we go.
Oh shit.
God.
Oh, I never even saw it. Just
Now-
just
Yeah,
no
I
interest.
saw parts of it.
This is a great movie poster. In fact, it won movie poster of the year. They had they used to. I don't know if they still do that.
Are
but they
you
used to have that.
serious?
I love
Holy
this movie
crap.
poster.
That's a cool
Um,
poster. I like it.
Yeah, it's
No, I
very
don't mind it. I
simple,
just
it's
can't believe
graphic.
out of a whole year.
Yeah, that was it. This
posters.
is the winner. But the movie, not a big winner. The first thing that I was disappointed at was I remember looking and it was I think it was Fangoria magazine where they had this article on Rick Baker, and they showed a picture of him sculpting a Howard the Duck bust that looked like it came right out of the comics. It was great. And for some reason I had in my mind, that's what they're going to do for the costume. Somehow they're going to pull this off. And when they showed Howard the Duck, it was like, this is Lucasfilm. How can that costume be so bad? And it was atrocious. And the whole movie was just trash. And they played up the romance between Howard and Bev. And you
had
don't want to do
sex.
that. That's
She had sex
disgusting.
with a duck, dude.
Oh, God.
That's a chick from Back to the Future. Wait,
Leah
yeah.
Thompson.
Yeah, Leah
Yeah,
Thompson.
okay,
Leah
yeah.
Thompson banging a
Yeah, Leah
fucking
Thompson.
bird in the movie.
I remember I had some friends of mine who were not comic book people at all, right? And they're like, we should go see a movie. And I wanted to see Howard the Duck. I go, you guys, trust me, this is going to be the feel-good hit of the summer. I kind of said that as a joke.
Oh,
And that became I got ruthlessly mocked for like years for that, taking them to see this movie because it was so freaking bad.
I think Billy hit the nail on the head as far as the sales pitch is like Leah Thompson banging a duck. Like that should have been the tagline.
that's
That should have been the
gross.
tagline. You could get so many people in the theater.
Oh,
She was smoking hot in this movie, but boy, that was just like,
Wonderful.
oh, please, let's
Yeah,
not go
yeah.
there, please.
Hey, Aaron, have you seen? There's a whole doc on Howard the Duck. If I come across it again, I'll send it your way.
Send
Have
it
you
all of
seen
our way.
that thing?
The
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
what?
All of our way.
There's a
please.
documentary on it.
Yeah,
and
oh, really?
I haven't seen that.
Why
it's
not?
all the crazy behind the scenes. It's like all like they built this audio animatronic thing, but it never worked. So they just kind of like found two midgets, and one was a little boy, I think, and the other one was a midget because they couldn't have the boy work the same hours because it was a kid, right? So then they would just
midnight.
throw
get the midget.
Yeah, so for all the scary, questionable stuff that you could get hurt, they threw the midget.
So they
in
had
the
an
costume.
animatronic duck that probably looked okay, but they wouldn't work, and then so they had to end up in the ninth hour. They're like, make a stupid costume. We got to film this.
Right.
So
but
during
you're
the
right, there
sex
are other
scene,
versions. There are other versions of the duck. though,
so
that
when they
look
were
way
filming
better.
the sex scene, it was funny because behind the scene, they're filming it, and the midget walks up, and the director goes, "Wait a second, if the midget's here, who's during the sex scene? Get that kid out of there!"
Oh boy!
Oh,
get
Lord.
your head out of there.
Too
Who
much
directed
hot
this
fun.
movie, Aaron?
Howard, wasn't it Howard Deutsch? He was one of
There was a couple that wrote it, right?
yeah,
And-
but
and they were-
this was Howard Deutsch and his wife. I can't think of her name. I guess we'll bring let me look at
they wrote it too. I think they wrote and directed it. They were good friends with Lucas,
Yep,
and so
Please
Lucas
land.
trusted
film
them
school
with it.
buddies with Lucas.
Yeah,
I can't read it on it doesn't blow up big enough. But I
but
know
this was Lucas's pet project, man. He wanted this so bad. I think it was in development for I want to say a decade, like for a long time, like trying to secure the rights to the comic
my
book, all
God.
that stuff, man.
Willard Hook.
That's right, Huck. You're right. No, it wasn't Deutsch. It was Willard Hook, and his wife was Mrs. Hook or Hayek or something like that.
Gloria Katz.
That's right. They were producers with Luke. They had something to do with Star Wars. They were involved with Star Wars.
Yeah.
And then this was their big break.
Wow.
Their big break.
Yikes. Okay, so
Yikes.
now this is going to be controversial, but I'm throwing this out there. I think Art will agree with me on this.
Okay. Oh shit. Yeah.
This is all right.
This is the most overrated superhero film ever made. I mean, it's not horrible, but I cannot stand Zack Snyder. His aesthetic, everything is greasy, everything looks fake. And I watched this movie and everybody's like, oh, it's the greatest thing ever. And I watched it and went, is it though? Is it really?
You know what's weird is like the behind the scenes, there were actual sets and stuff built, and it still ended up looking like a cheap video game graphic, like the whole movie did. Yeah.
Yep. So I know a lot of people like this movie, but I thought 300 that was okay. I was okay with 300, but that's the only movie he's ever done that I've seen that I just felt was
Dawn
not
of the Dead was good. Did you like Dawn of the Dead remake?
That's the only one that I like that Zack Snyder's made. I thought that was good.
And that seems like it's right in his wheelhouse.
That was Snyder? Okay.
Yeah.
I
and
liked
that's
the aesthetics in Sucker Punch, but not the story.
that movie is disgusting. It's the only
hard.
movie I bought sight unseen. I watched it. Thank God I watched it without my daughter because she wanted to see it. As soon as the movie was done, I broke the disc in half because I didn't want her going. I didn't want her going through my collection. I didn't want her going through my collection because that stuff, it was just that bad.
Really?
What was in it?
Yeah,
it's just depressing. It's supposed to be like some girl power film, but the girls
like a
get
women's prison thing, right?
snuffed out.
The trailer
Yeah.
just didn't do anything for me. I would just, didn't care.
Yeah, the girls get beat, sodomized. It's like it's horrible.
Wow.
It's a horrible film. Yeah. And it's supposed to be like, oh, it's some kind of girl power. But I think all the girls, there's like a group of them, and they all kind of sacrifice themselves for the youngest one. And it's just really disgusting. It's kind of like it's like they retreat into their headspace or something, and then they have like these empowering adventures. And then the reality is something completely different. Isn't there some kind of madam that's selling those girls?
With
the
prostitution. The one who played what's her name in Watchmen? The Italian
Carla Guccione.
Yeah, she's pretty.
And she was in Sin City also.
Yeah, she's quite the looker, isn't she, RT?
Yeah, she is.
All right.
All right. So there we go. That was a good choice. I'm going to show mine off.
Oh, wait, we'll all show ours.
Hey now.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
hang on now, Billy. Hang on now.
You guys are going to get to see my man of steel. So,
no.
Oh wow, Art's going after Warner Brothers today.
Wow,
I'm going after Zack Snyder.
Snyder.
Yeah, F that guy. This movie, I'll tell you, the trailer was really cool. There was one beat that sometimes you see these things, you just discount them, like, oh well, yeah, it's just a part of a scene. It's when the father says, or he asks him, like, you shouldn't have saved those kids. And he goes, should I have let them die or something like that in the school bus? And then the dad says, maybe. Or perhaps.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Right. And that's in the trailer. And I was thinking, okay, what they're doing is they're probably trying to show like that Jonathan has like some doubt, right? Like that it's hard to raise the kid. So he maybe is kind of fighting with like, how to advise this kid, and so it was kind of a weak moment, his dad trying to keep the kid safe, but then realizes that you can't, right? That he's meant to save humanity or save people. And I tell you, they didn't change it up. That scene plays out almost exactly like the trailer. And I was like, this is disgusting. This is so freaking bad. It made me physically ill. And then the scene.
Did he let his dad die too?
Yeah, and that's where I'm going with it.
Oh,
and then they played like the hurricane or whatever, the tornado. And then they go back for the dog, right? And then, Superboy already, or Clark Kent already knows he has his super strength, right? His dad already knows all this stuff. And the son goes, I'll go get the dog. And then the dad's like, no, I'll get the dog. So he runs right into the eye of this freaking storm. Like, what the fuck are you thinking, man? And so then, he ends up, just before he gets taken up by the tornado, he gives his son like, no, it'll be okay. It'll be okay, son.
I'm going to sacrifice myself for you so you don't have to reveal yourself to the world.
Exactly. And then I'm thinking like, what the fuck? And then Clark lets his dad do this. And this is not what the movie's about. Like, this is an origin right here. This is an origin story. But this is not what motivates him later. This has nothing to do with a whole lot of anything.
Right.
I was just thinking, like, he can move so fast, faster than a speeding bullet. He could fly in, grab his dad, and bring him back before anybody even knew it. Instead, his dad lets him think for the rest of his life he could have saved his father and didn't.
Yeah.
How would you guys feel if you had in your power to save your dad, and you didn't do it?
Well, bear in mind too that
up.
there was no secret to keep. Nobody knew there was a superpowered being on the planet.
Right.
So if he just ran out there very fast, let's say like a wide receiver, and he tackled his dad and protected him with his invulnerable body, people would just say, "Oh my God, it's a miracle!"
you lucked out. Yeah.
Just like it happens all the time. Nobody's going to say, "Oh, he must be super powered." He survived. He must be an alien.
No one would know.
No
one would know.
To hide.
And
they already established that the people.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No one was around when the tornado's going. So there's not someone standing there watching. Anyone who
there was people under the bridge.
Under the bridge.
There were people under the bridge, I thought.
But the thing is, they already established that the community of Smallville was behind him. They knew that he was superpowered because they saved those kids, right? But they were completely okay with it. They were willing to just, because remember there was the reporter. They didn't tell anybody anything, so they were sealed to secrecy. So that there was no point to it at all. I did have a scene but just before that, this is my rewrite. They're in the truck and they're fighting. Clark wants to leave the farm, right? He wants to go to school, whatever, right? Be his own person. And the dad's like, no, you can't. Like, he's just this controlling guy that's afraid to let his dad go or his son go, right? So they're having this kind of argument. Then the storm happens and then he loses his dad. Well, just think about this. If he flew in, Clark flies in, grabs Jonathan, but just before that, let me back up. Okay, Jonathan gets picked up, and all he's doing is like he's getting thrown around. He's like, "Please, God, anybody, save me, please!" Like he's crying out, like, "Save me!" Because that's what you would do just before you were going to die, right? If you're being torn apart, whatever. And he's like, "Save me!" And then all of a sudden, this blur flies in, grabs him, flies him to safety, and it's his freaking son, right? It's his son that saved him. And then he goes, then he turns to him, he goes, "You were right, Clark. You need to share this power with other people." Because I realized how important that would be just before I was about to meet my maker. You know what I mean? You swooped in and you saved me. And I realized you could do that for hundreds, thousands of others. You need to do this. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, fuck, all that shit that Zack Snyder made us go through, made us think that this one thing was going to happen and then pays it off like that. Well, shit. All of a sudden you have a payoff, and then you have a parent that you could relate to. He's just trying to keep his son safe, but then realizes that's pointless. He has to go out and help.
Well, and that would also showcase the importance of life and of saving lives, because then we get to the end of the movie and the lazy ass writers set it up so that Superman has to kill Zod. Which is ridiculous. It was a stupid setup. There's no reason for that. He could have. They could have written it so that when the vortex was going, somehow he gets Zod and he throws him into the vortex or something like that. So then Zod is gone and he's off in the mirror universe or wherever it is. The Phantom Zone, whatever. He didn't have to kill, and that would have been a much better statement for Superman. You know, one of the things I hated about the John Burns run is when he did that whole thing where he killed the Kryptonians, you know, as if he had to kill. And I think I read Burns said this, you know, to understand that it's not good, that would haunt him the rest of his life, which is idiotic. You don't have to. We have an entire society built upon the fact you don't murder other people. You know, we don't need to murder somebody to figure out that it's wrong. And as a story element, that's what he used.
Wait a second, you're just telling me this now? Oh my
After all
God!
those people that Andy
When I
killed?
was 10 years old and I got so pissed off and took out my neighbor, and now you're. Oh well.
No, but you're right. It's a premise.
Yeah, I
it's a
want a do-over.
conceit that the writers and the director said, and so they built it up that's how it had to pay off. But it didn't have to pay off because you didn't have to construct it that way. You could have constructed it in any fashion you wanted to.
Right. That's
And
the
then
point,
because I
yeah.
love the way those guys talk. It's like, well, it had to happen. It's like,
No, it
because
didn't.
you said it had to happen.
Yeah, like, you put him in that position. Don't put him in that
I've
position.
gotten into
Zod-
arguments with people online about that, where they're like, "Well, what's he supposed to do? He had no choice." I said, "No, the writers had plenty of choices."
Yes, exactly.
Right. Zod
The
had
way it
such
was
a hard
presented.
one. Zod had such a hard one for Superman. That was the thing that was driving me crazy, was all the destruction in Metropolis, where
Right.
Superman sees that it's happening and he knows
He
all
doesn't
Zod
take it to the
sees is
moon or
him.
something, you know.
He could have flown anywhere, right? He could have flown to the moon and Zod would have followed him,
Right.
or
yeah.
to the middle of the country, wherever. But nope.
Antarctica or something, fighting the
Yeah,
snow.
where there's no people and buildings to be destroyed.
And you
it
still
would have
could have
been-
had very cool visuals.
And that would have been
So-
smart, because that's then how Superman could have tracked him somehow, is to lead him to Antarctica, and for something there could have.
Yeah, like an
Right.
ice fortress, and then he'd like switch the crystals and take away
That's
his
the best.
powers.
Hey,
Yes, that
now.
would work. Awesome.
I
I
say
love
he
that.
takes that giant key
I love
and
that.
stabs him.
Yeah.
He just freezes them with his wind breath.
His wind breath. You must be
His
a
wind
Marvel
breath.
guy.
You want Superman to blow
What's it
Zod,
called? Super
Dan?
breath? What is it called?
Super breath.
It's super breath.
What's it called?
Dan
It's
wants
called
Superman to
Super
blow
Wind
Zod.
breath.
Do you
All
remember
right,
that? You guys remember that in Airplane, when the automatic pilot, he deflated? Like,
Oh, yeah.
looks like we're gonna have to blow rock. Blow rock, and then she's and also
And the nozzle is down in his lap.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Leslie Nielsen walks in and sees her head bobbing, and he's like,
Those are so good. Those
That
are
thing has a
great
smile
movies.
on its face.
Yeah.
when
He's like,
plays
never-
it.
Yeah, it had a smile. Yeah. All right, this is my runner-up. This is the Green
Oh, I
Hornet.
knew you were going to have to do this one, Art.
"Yeah."
You had to.
Seth Rogen should just stop making movies. Like, this is
Yes.
so bad.
Yes,
Yeah.
they should.
That's
They
a
had the
cool
art
looking
direction. They
place
went
for that.
back to the 60s, which was smart. The new car design was great. It had a lot going for it, but man, Seth Rogen, I don't even know who this was not the Green Hornet at all. I don't know what character this
No.
was, but this was not Britt Reed. It was so bad. And then I heard these guys talk about it. It's like, yeah, this is kind of the origin. This is what happened before the TV series with Van Williams came out. It's like, no, there's no way Seth Rogen would ever step into Van Williams' shoes. Like, they are not even close to being the same person or character. It was retarded. This thing was so retarded, but the car was cool.
Car was cool.
And then I thought the Kato character was okay, but man, Seth Rogen was the worst. He's just
The minute I saw his name attached, I was like, I'm out. I have no interest in
Yep.
seeing this. 'Cause
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be ridiculous.
It's weird, but like Hollywood had been farming this thing around for a while. I remember they were talking about like Eddie Murphy as the Green Hornet. They had George Clooney as the Green Hornet, and so they had been pitching like these comedic ideas, like with Eddie Murphy and stuff. But man, I think I'd rather see Eddie Murphy as the Green Hornet. At least
George
I
Clooney could have done it if it was written well.
Oh, Clooney. If
Yeah.
it was written dramatically, yeah. Hell
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was so great at Batman.
but-
Once again,
that was
writing.
Joel Schumacher. That was Joel Schumacher's direction. That movie was doomed from the get-go. Hey, Andy, do you have a runner-up? I know we kind of passed you.
Oh no, I was just going to say I don't have it to share, but I brought it up. Madam Web. Madam Web was just so bad. It was just you could tell it was a cobbled together mess. Visually, spoiler alert, guys. Her paramedic partner, Dakota Johnson's paramedic, her partner, this movie takes place in 2003, is named Ben, and you come to realize it's Uncle Ben. And Peter Parker is born at the end of the movie. And one of the things that's so ridiculous about this movie visually is the bad guy in the movie who has these spider type powers. His costume design, his eyes, everything it's not exactly like Spider-Man, but it's just way too close. It's way too close for 20 years later. Unless Tony Stark was like, I saw something 20 years ago. I got a costume for you. Because, in the MCU, Tony Stark created the costume, not Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So-
know that aspect. What they're trying to say that Ben was in the ambulance as Peter was being born?
No, Ben was a paramedic in the movie.
Okay.
And May is his not May. What's Peter's mom? Whatever Peter's mom's name is.
Oh, I didn't know. I don't
Mary
know,
or
I didn't
something
know
like
his
that?
mom's name.
Martha.
Martha, why'd you say that name?
Martha. But no, so they're he's married, his wife is pregnant, and at the end of the movie she gives birth, and that's Peter Parker.
Still doesn't make sense because Aunt May and Uncle Ben were I think Uncle Ben was the brother of,
Well, no, Uncle Ben, I take it back. Ben it's his sister, right? Would that be right? His sister's the one given.
Yes.
I confused the family lineage, but
Okay,
Ben's
that's
sister.
I'm like my brain. I'm like, why would they?
No, you're right. You're right. But yeah, I got it confused. Ben's sister, whatever. Point is, Peter Parker is born because when the movie started, it was way back in like the late 70s, before Dakota Johnson's character.
It's already too convoluted. Like, why?
You're not
why
already lost.
Exactly, and then it jumps to 2003, and I'm like, why the hell is this taking place in 2003?
Yeah.
And then when you
it's
find
already
that part
it's already
out,
a car wreck. This is the thing. It's like,
dude, the movie was
a flashback of a previous thought.
yeah.
It was just Richard and Mary Parker. There it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
So,
the Batman v Superman. It should never have happened. A Madam Web should never have happened. Like on an executive level, when they pitched this idea, they should have just said, "We're not doing it. Like this is just. We have so many other characters we could do. Why do Madam Web? Also, Madam Web, isn't she in a wheelchair? She's like an older lady. And
she's an old hag.
Yeah,
she's old, but at the end of the movie, Dakota does wind up in a fancy chair through something that happens.
I still don't think
you can spoil it.
Somebody in the chat saying it too that Ben was Peter's dad's Richard's brother, not
Richard's brother, whatever.
Because Ben's a Parker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, whatever. But no, but you're right. Madam Web is an old lady, but this movie took place in 2003. So Dakota Johnson, even though she wouldn't be a total senior citizen like Madam Web is drawn in present day, she would be, mid 50s.
That's way too much. That's way too much.
So
for a 2-hour movie, that's
wow.
Well, it never made it to present day, so it doesn't matter.
My head hurts from this explanation, Andy.
I know
it's bad. All you need to know is it's bad.
I think we've decided this is the worst movie of them all because you can't.
It is. Oh no, it is. Out of everything that we went through tonight, all our picks, this is the worst one. I'm really surprised nobody brought up Catwoman.
Well, there were a bunch of movies that I wanted to say, but some of these things they're like non-movies to me. They're like non-entities. They're so bad I don't even acknowledge their existence. You know what I mean?
Well, you knew they were bad from the get-go, so you just never went to see them.
Right.
Exactly.
Shaquille O'Neal as Steel.
Oh my
I know.
God.
Oh yeah.
Like, let's bring that out.
Yeah, there were a lot
Yeah.
of bad stinkers out there. Well, let's do a round robin and promote. I know Andy's got a new campaign. He's going to be launching Sunday. So what do you got?
Sunday. Noon on Sunday. Cordrat the Awakening launches. So guys, go sign up. I know the link is in the description below. This is it. Last few days to sign up, back it, get the free trading card and front of the line shipping. So and be there Sunday at noon.
Yes.
Billy
What do you got, Teen Sensation?
Oh, I shared it real quick, if you don't mind.
Oh, there it is.
Yep. Let you guys know, something I'm very proud of is the She and Lady Death are the cover to this year's Overstreet Price Guide, and
Right.
Diamond asked if I could share it on my thing, so you guys can actually buy these directly from me at BillyTucci.com, the same prices as you would get in your local comic shop, and but I'll autograph them all, so you can get the sets, hardcovers, soft covers, individual books, or sets, all on www.BillyTucci.com, and it's
Sweet.
It's something I'm very excited about. That Lady Death and She get their just rewards, and it's been a wonderful 30 years. Thank you all for your support.
That's so cool.
And next week, I'm hosting the Burrows, and the topic, if I may, it's something we touched on yesterday, which is really funny, but I would like for each and every one of us to find our very first printed work, and we're going to go through that book, that story, whatever it is in comics. We each get 20 minutes. There's 6 of us, and we're going to find whatever your first book is, Andy Smith, your first published work. We're going to go through it page by page, and we're all going to talk about it.
Why 2 pages long?
Yeah, what is
Well, if it's only 2 pages, then you can do your first, I don't know, 10 pages or so. First two things, if it's short like that. I think it'd be a lot of fun to go through.
It's got to be comic books.
Yeah, Dan.
Comics,
that's what we do.
Well, my first printed work is a comic strip. I did a daily strip in the newspaper.
No, comic books.
Comic books. Okay.
Comic books.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So
I know the one.
Oh, the embarrassment, the shame.
yeah.
It's going to be bad.
Oh my God, the shame.
Mine's mine's
excited.
only like 8 to 12 pages, but that's fine.
fine. Yeah, mine is 12 pages. So
mine's like 8 or 10, and it's got
minimum
a good story
8
behind
pages.
it.
You got 20.
God, I haven't looked at it. Okay.
Yeah.
I may even have the pencils.
See, more
Yeah,
the better.
no, I don't even want to give it.
And we can even have the cameras on our decks if we actually have the book, so we can go through it.
Or if we
Okay.
actually had cameras.
What?
If we had cameras.
Or if we actually had cameras.
That's why that website is so good, because everything's there.
Everything's
What do you
there.
mean? Who doesn't have a camera?
I don't have
None
a
of
camera
us
to
do.
point
I
on
don't
my
even
desk.
know how I'm showing up right here.
Oh, wait.
This is magic.
Then just show it like this. If you could just flip through it, or if you got it scanned, then we could just share it.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out. Hey, Dan, what do you got?
I got Black Flag. Working on Black Flag. Working on my health. Dealing with the issues. But just drawing every day and feeling very blessed.
Awesome.
Dan.
What do you got, Mr. Nolan? Yeah, feel better, Dan.
Thank you.
Everything you need to know is at compasscomics.com. www.compasscomics.com. Everything I've done is there, and all future projects can be launched from there or accessed from there, like Return to Monster Island, which is still in demand on Indiegogo.
Oh, no.
Go to compasscomics.com and you'll get the link right there. Easy peasy, my friends.
I got to talk to you about
Sweet.
that. I love that idea of a centralized hub. It's like I bought all these domains, but I haven't built any sites yet. I got to talk to you about that. That sounds
Yeah. What do you got? What do you got, Steak Lopresti?
Well, now I'm worried about next week, but I've got Kit Carter Planet Doom, the graphic novel. You can't find me on Indiegogo, but you can find me at www.kitcarterplanetdoom.com, and that'll take you right there. And I'm over halfway done.
Is that because of the shadow ban? Is that what you're?
That's exactly what it is. Okay. And I'm on page 43, I think, 43 or 44 out of 64. So closing in on the finish line. Tomorrow on Graybeards, we're doing the Rocketeer. So eat your heart out, Billy. And
it
I
just
might
the Rocketeer?
I might jump on and do the Rocketeer with you. I might
gotta
invite
draw.
myself onto your stupid show.
no, I'll invite you. You want to come on?
I can't go
What?
if I'm not allowed.
No, I will invite you on formally right now if you'll come. You got to draw though.
What? Okay.
You can't just. A lot of guys are like, I don't want to draw on camera. So.
Can you draw anything from Rocketeer? Like
Yeah,
I'm gonna check my
from the
let me check
comic.
my,
From the comic.
my commission.
Right. So just get a circle template out and draw 2 circles next to each other with the top. Jennifer Connelly.
Oh yeah.
Booyah.
Oh yeah.
Hey now.
Hey
Well,
now.
very good. And my parting is Black and White Man versus Machine. Volume 2 is completely done. It is printed. Everything. We are in fulfillment. These books are going out daily. We're about 1,000 books into fulfillment, so 1,000 books have gone out, and so I think we have about 700 books left. So they go out daily. So if you haven't gotten your books yet, keep it. Ooh, look at that! Look at that!
Look at that.
I haven't got mine yet. That's all right.
Well, I ordered the layout, so I think he was.
You and me both, Aaron. But I did get my shipping notification. So
And
Sweet baby Christmas.
they smell so good.
Sweet baby.
They do. I love printed material.
Yeah.
But yeah, the book is being fulfilled right now. So you should get your book if you backed it very, very soon. So keep an eye on your mailbox. And also, we will be closing this bad boy out very, very soon. So if you want to back it, now would be a good time before there is no time. So I want to thank everyone for hanging out with us on the Bros for the last 2 hours or so. Thank you all for the super chats. You guys are the best. If it wasn't for you, we would not be here. We would not be creating these IPs, these comic book concepts. We would probably be, fudging around at the mainstreams, getting the scraps, keeping our mouths shut, and just accepting all the scraps that are thrown our way. But we don't have to. We can have our head held high. We have freedom. And each and every one of us love making these comic books for you. So thank you so much for supporting. And we will see you next week on Billy Tucci's channel. So you guys take care. Have a good night and see you soon.
Great show.